Everything is sanitized before every class. We will keep you safe. This course usually costs $100, but twice a year we offer it for the low price of only $29.99 for all 8 classes. Classes are forming now for both our South County and Chesterfield Valley locations. Only $29.99 for all 8 weeks. Go online to sign up at lacefieldmusic.com or call 314-845-3760. That's 314-845-3760.
If you're one of the many working from home these days or running your business remotely, you need a strong technology company that can handle any cloud, VoIP, Wi-Fi, or fiber needs. Look no further than Arcadia Valley Communications. They've got 50 years combined experience and prices that smoke the competition. Get your company connected by calling Ron Elkins at 314-924-3160 for a free technology assessment for your home or business. Find out what Arcadia can do for you. Visit them online at arcadiavalleycommunications.com.
Need a break from the sound bites and the talking heads? Do you want information you can actually use? Information that'll change your life for the better? Then listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Del will show you how to retire in 2 to 5 years. Your age doesn't matter. Turn off the pundits and turn on the passive income. Tune in to the Del Walmsley Radio Show.
Tune in to the Del Walmsley Show, where the hype ends and the help begins. Weeknights at 7 on 97.1 FM Talk.
From local leaders to national figures, they're talking here. Stay connected at 971talk.com or radio.com and stream the station anytime, anywhere. The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
With 4 more years, imagine what we can achieve by simply working with our president. I believe in our president's vision for the future. I stand here tonight calling on all Americans to join us. It doesn't matter what you look like, who you love, how you worship your gender or your job. If you're a traditional Democrat who's become disillusioned with how radical your party has become, then stand with us. You are most welcome. America needs all her patriots to rush to her defense.
That's Sean Parnell last night at the RNC convention. And I got to say, if you were watching this along with me, I am so incredibly jazzed by what I saw last night. It was such a fantastic assembly of what we have to be proud of in this country. And I don't think that every single thing that was attempted landed exactly the way they probably expected it to. But my goodness, what a stark difference between the RNC and what we saw with the DNC. I have to say, I was so incredibly impressed. And I don't know how much of it I myself saw some of it, didn't see some of it. I very much so question Fox's decision to not cover it in full, because this is the red meat, folks. This is the what I want. I watch Fox News because I feel like I'm going to get the straight facts. And as much as I am interested in what some of their hosts might have to say about it, I'd much rather hear the actual story while it's happening. So I found it on YouTube, watched it on YouTube last night. And there's a couple of different speeches that if you weren't able to hear them at all, or if you weren't able to hear them, in their entirety, I think this is just absolute must hear stuff. This is, the contrast to me, the difference to me between what the DNC did last week and what the Democrats have decided that they stand for. This is their choice. They get to set their party platform. They get to set their tone, their mood. The difference between last week and this week, the difference between the Democrats and the Republicans, is that I feel as though Republicans are looking at the United States of America as a constant idea that needs to be pursued, something that is constantly a work in progress, but that is good. That idea of America is good. The pursuit of what we are all trying to achieve here is good. There's a positivity that resonates with that kind of a message that you do not get from the Democrats, because everything from the Democrats is doom and gloom. I'm hearing a lot of these pundits talking about, is from the left specifically. Gretchen Whitmer was, I just heard her, the governor, talking about what she heard last night, and she acted as if it was like some sort of dirge for politics, where you tune in and you listen to all the doom and gloom. Good grief, you were not hearing it. You're not hearing it the way it's intended, that's for sure. And I'm going to tell you what, if you heard last night as some sort of exercise in negativity, I hate to say this, maybe we heard the same thing. Maybe you just hate what I love. Maybe what is what ultimately is at the end result of these sentences, at these paragraphs, maybe you just hate what it is that I love. And Maximo Alvarez, a Cuban who came here with his family, listen to this. This is so powerful.
Only wanted one person to decide my fate. Me. Not some party member, not some government official, not some bureaucrat. In America, I would decide my own future. I am so grateful to America, the place where I was able to build my American dream through hard work and determination. President Trump knows that the American story was written by people just like you and I, who love our country and take risks to build a future for our families and neighbors. I may be a Cuban born, but I am 100% American. This is the greatest country in the world. And I said this before. If I gave away everything that I have today, it would not equal 1% of what I was given when I came to this great country of ours. The gift of freedom. Right now, it is up to us to decide our fate and to choose freedom over oppression. President Trump, he's fighting the forces of anarchy and communism. And I know he will continue to do just that. And what about his opponent and the rest of the DC swamp? I have no doubt they will hand the country over to those dangerous forces. You and I will decide. And here's what I've decided. My decision is very easy. I choose President Trump because I choose America. I choose freedom. I still hear my dad. There is no other place to go. Thank you, and may the good Lord bless America.
Oh my gosh. How am I supposed to talk after that? I mean, when I'm sitting in my basement and my kids are running around trying to avoid bedtime upstairs and my sad husband is just left, I'm like, I gotta work, honey, bye. And I go to the basement and I'm eating hamburger helper and drinking more water that I can possibly try to consume in a given day. And I'm watching this Maximo Alvarez, which is the coolest name I've ever heard in my life, talk about how his father came over here. This man is romantic about this country. This isn't just, the Democrats hate America and the Republicans love America. That's not actually true. There are lots of Democrats who love this country deeply and they feel as though it's broken. And in my opinion, it's because they've been lied to, folks. The information that they're working with isn't factual information in many, many cases. We are so privileged in the United States of America to be able to consider socialism as an alternative because we have so much in this country. We have built so much in this country. We have so much wealth in this country, which isn't a bad thing, lest ye not understand what I am trying to say here. We have given ourselves our future so much in this country because we are free. And we're free because we the people. We're free because we are not counting on Joe Biden to win this election and save us. We're not counting on that because we have to count on ourselves. The power rests in us. The power is not in some, government figure who is waiting in the wings to assume his throne, his place of purpose, her place of purpose. That's not how it works in our country. We decide what is important. We decide what we need to have done. We decide who is going to represent us, and we choose. What's at stake in this November is the idea to choose the promise of security over the sacrifice of liberty. And that promise of security is one that cannot be made without doing it on the back of your own labor. Socialism doesn't stop people from having to provide for themselves. It requires that you provide for others, and you get what you get, and you don't throw a fit. To say it in a way that my family understands, because we use that phrase a lot, folks. There's one more that I have to play for you before we go, because if I could hear Herschel Walker speak every day going into November 3rd, our country would be so much better for it. I don't even know who would win the election, but if people would listen to Herschel Walker and how he speaks about this man, they'd hear the truth.
I'm not an actor, a singer, or a politician. I'm Herschel Walker. Most of you know me as a football player, but I'm also a father, a man of faith, and a very good judge of character. I've known Donald Trump for 37 years, and I don't mean just casual ran into him from time to time. I'm talking about a deep personal friendship. I watched him as an owner of a professional football team. Right after he bought the team, he set out to learn. He learned about the history of the team, the players, the coaches, every detail. Then he used what he learned to make the team better. I watched him in the boardroom. He can be in the middle of a big meeting, but if one of the kids was on the phone, he dropped everything to take the call. He taught me that the family should be your top priority. I watched him treat janitors, security guards, and waiters the same way he would treat a VIP. He made them feel special because he knew they were. He understands that they are the people who make this country run. They clean, they cook, they build, they drive, they deliver. He told me, Herschel, make an effort to get to know people. Remember their names. That stuck with me. One time, I planned to take his kids to Disney World with my family. At the last minute, Donald said he'd like to join us. So there he was, in a business suit on It's a Small World ride. That was something to see. It just shows you what a caring, loving father he is. It hurt my soul to hear the terrible names that people call Donald. The worst one is racist. I take it as a personal insult that people would think I've had a 37-year friendship with a racist. People who think that don't know what they're talking about. Growing up in the Deep South, I've seen racism up close. I know what it is, and it isn't Donald Trump. Just because someone loves and respects the flag, our national anthem, and our country, doesn't mean they don't care about social justice. I care about all those things. So does Donald Trump. He shows how much he cares about social justice in the Black community through his actions. And his action speaks louder than stickers or slogans on a jersey. He keeps right on fighting to improve the lives of Black Americans and all Americans. He works night and day. He never stops. He leaves nothing on the field. Some people don't like his style, the way he knocks down obstacles that get in the way of his goals. People on the opposing team didn't like when I ran over them either, but that's how you get the job done. I pray every night that God gives him more time. Give him 4 more years. He has accomplished so much almost all by himself on a constant attack, but there's still more work to be done. If you love America and want to make it better, Donald Trump is your president. He's my president, and I'm blessed to call him friend.
Gosh, man, Herschel, you're talking to my soul here. I'm watching that last night. You know, it's weird to sit in your basement and cheer at the TV, probably for sports, but maybe a little more socially acceptable. For politic events, I think that it's like you have leveled up in nerdery, and I don't know if there's anywhere else for me to go. I don't know if I've like maxed out on nerd level.
We have arrived.
Oh man. So Herschel Walker, Maximo Alvarez, I think those two plus Tim Scott, I said all three tied for first last night, and we're headed into an election season, and that election season is going to be pretty involved. Lots to go yet this week. Katie, what do we got coming up next?
Could the election be delayed, guys? Could ballot harvesting sway the election this year? God, terrifying thought. We are going to ask constitutional lawyer Zack Smith from the Heritage Foundation in about 4.5 minutes what's going on with ballot harvesting and a possible delay in the election.
And I'm also going to ask him, is Nancy Pelosi, if it doesn't happen by Inauguration Day, is Nancy Pelosi the president? Because y'all keep sending me that. Zack Smith will answer those questions when we come back.
One day the time will leave our troubles behind.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show.
In our treetop view,
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
I fell before, but I can't ignore that it's nothing like I'm falling down.
Hi, this is Lance Drury. If you have payroll tax problems, you have serious legal problems, you need an attorney. Call 314-260-6120 or toll free 888-367-6512 or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
Curtis and the whole staff at Complete Auto Body and Repair want to thank everyone for using them for their services. They are the leaders in the industry and always strive to be the best, so they now offer no-contact touchless auto repair. That means when you drop your keys off, they will sanitize your keys and fob. Technicians will sanitize before and after service. In addition, all repair authorizations will be done digitally after service. Your safety is the utmost importance to them as they sanitize their shops several times a day. They will even give you complimentary pickup and delivery via their towing partner, A2B Towing, and $150 off all hail repairs. To put it simply, they offer the complete experience. There are a wide variety of companies that can take care of your car and claim to go the extra mile, but how many of them follow through after you hand them your keys? This is where they show you Complete's mission. They are a family and will serve you as if you were one of their own. With 5 convenient locations, others can't compete with Complete. CompleteAV.com.
Michael's Flooring Outlet online at michaelsflooringoutlet.com has some amazing opportunities for you to save a great deal of money on a flooring purchase that's in your future. They will purchase bulk quantities of different kinds of flooring so they can pass along the savings to you. For instance, waterproof flooring. They have a whole lot of that available for you right now. Waterproof flooring in my house is almost a necessity with 3 kids, with a dog running around, and the fast-paced life that we live. But maybe for your commercial business, maybe for a place that is very high traffic, you want to upgrade it to something that looks great, isn't going to break the bank, and is going to be able to withstand the life and the work that's going to take place on it. Reach out to Michael's Flooring Outlet and see what they can do to set you up. St. Charles County, West County, and Darien Prairie. And if you're looking for any great deals on the Mohawk Smart Strand, Forever Clean Arrow, Revwood Plus flooring, you have it all there at Michael's Flooring Outlet to check it out. Look it up online at michaelsflooringoutlet.com.
They're lurking in your basement, in the garage, unwanted appliances.
But how do you get rid of them?
Most haulers charge you money, but not D&D Free Appliance Hauling.
Just call D&D at 314-249-2951 to schedule your free pickup.
D&D Free Appliance Hauling will come to your home and remove your unwanted washers, dryers, fridges, stoves, dishwashers, and freezers fast and free.
That's D&D Free Appliance Hauling.
Serving St. Louis County, St. Charles County, Lincoln County, and the surrounding areas.
When you want to get rid of your unwanted appliances, don't pay for it.
Call D&D Free Appliance Hauling and let them come pick it up free. 314-249-2951.
314-249-2951.
314-249-2951. D&D Free Appliance Hauling. 314-249-2951.
Our homes are where we feel the most happy, safe, and secure. So when we see cracks in the drywall, uneven floors, or other signs of foundation settlement, we want to make sure that it's repaired right and fixed forever. At Woods Basement Systems, we understand we're a family business that's been eliminating foundation worries since 1986. And once we repair your home, we stand behind it with a transferable life of the home warranty. So the next family who lives there will also enjoy the same peace of mind. So if you have foundation problems, learn more at woodsbasementsystems.com. That's woodsbasementsystems.com, or call 800-388-9326 for a free estimate. That's 800-388-9326. Woods Basement Systems, because foundation problems don't get better with time, they get better with us. All things basementing experts.
We are Woods, we fix basements for your peace of mind.
That's woodsbasementsystems.com.
The latest local forecast and severe weather coverage you can count on from the name in St. Louis weather.
This is 97.1's Chief Meteorologist, Dave Murray.
On 97.1 FM Talk, powered by Air Comfort Service.
Caught them doing some really bad things in 2016. Let's see what happens. We caught them doing some really bad things. We have to be very careful because they're trying it again with this whole 80 million mail-in ballots that they're working on, sending them out to people that didn't ask for them. They didn't ask, they just get them. And it's not fair and it's not right and it's not going to be possible to tabulate, in my opinion. It's just my opinion. We have to be very, very careful.
So a lot of you folks have questions about the questions that have been arisen about voting, mail-in voting. How is this going to affect our ability to count ballots? Is there going to be fraud? There's so much that you want to know, and I don't have the answers to that. So I thought, let's get somebody who does. Katie, you connected us with Zack Smith. He's a legal fellow with the Heritage Foundation, and he is a constitutional lawyer, and we are grateful for his time today. Zack, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. It's great to have you.
Of course. Thanks so much for having me on, Andy. I really appreciate it.
For sure. So the first question that I have for you is to ask you to maybe draw a distinction between absentee voting, because everyone says, mail-in voting is absentee voting is mail-in voting. That's not quite accurate. And there are some states around the country right now that have taken absentee voting and taken it one step further.
Sure, that's absolutely right. Absentee voting is something that most of us are familiar with. If we're going to be out of town on election day, if we're unable to go to the polling place for some reason, we can, request from our supervisor of elections, complete a form, send it into the supervisor, let them check the form, be sure the signature matches what they have on file, and then at that point, send out an absentee ballot to us if we have specifically requested one. Mail-in voting is something different. That's where states or local jurisdictions are planning to mail out ballots to essentially all registered voters in that jurisdiction or in that state. And so, unfortunately, because a lot of states have not kept their voter rolls as up to date as they should have, there's the potential for hundreds of thousands of potentially even millions of ballots to be circulating in the mail at any given time, with a good number of those being sent to, potentially people who have passed away, or to people who no longer live in that state, or who are no longer eligible to vote for some reason. And so it really creates a lot of problems, both practically and administratively, in administering that kind of broad vote-by-mail program.
Zack, are those who are worried about mail-in voting fraud worried about it more on a macro level, like that people could manipulate this system and really swing things? Or is it more on a micro level that individual votes either wouldn't be counted or people could fill out ballots that weren't theirs?
Well, I think it's both, because we've seen recent examples of this. New York, several weeks ago in their primary election, conducted it by widespread mail-in voting. And we saw there were a lot of administrative problems. I think it took them somewhere close to 6 weeks to tabulate all of the votes. And right now, I know we've all heard a lot about the Postal Service, kind of whether they're going to be able to handle the increased volume. But the fact is, vote by mail is very burdensome, both on postal authorities and on local election supervisors, and could potentially, take much longer to process than the traditional, in-person voting mechanisms that we're all used to. And then if you look on the micro level, yeah, of course, voter fraud exists. The Heritage Foundation has a database documenting proven instances of voter fraud. And unfortunately, with mail-in voting, a lot of the traditional safeguards that are in place just aren't there. And so the possibility, it's a very real possibility, that folks could be intimidated, coerced into voting, that multiple ballots could be cast. And so again, there are just a lot of problems with this broad push for mail-in voting.
We're speaking with constitutional lawyer and legal fellow at Heritage Foundation, Zack Smith. I get this question all the time. I have seen the Facebook post. If it's on Facebook, it's real. All the Facebook lawyers are very worried about this scenario. I mean, I remember the 2000 election when we didn't have a president going into Christmas time. What happens if we get to Inauguration Day and the ballots aren't fully counted and Inauguration Day comes and goes? Who's the president if we don't have a decisive answer from votes?
Well, I'm very hopeful that scenario won't play out. And hopefully, if elections officials take the process seriously, really kind of eschew this broad push for mail-in voting, there's a better chance of tabulating the votes, getting a quicker result so that we don't even have to think about this scenario. But, if on the off chance that this does happen, there's actually a federal statute on point, 3 U.S.C. Section 19. And it basically says that if on Inauguration Day, January 20th, we still don't have a president or vice president who's been selected, essentially whoever is the Speaker of the House at that time would step in and serve as the acting president. And then, of course, it keeps going down the list. If the Speaker of the House hasn't been chosen or is not available, but typically it would be whoever would be the Speaker of the House at that time.
Zach, I don't know if you can speak to this issue, but what would you recommend for those who are getting ballots in the mail, or at least requests for ballots? I live in Illinois, and I got something in the mail that I was confused about, and I didn't know whether I should fill it out or whether I should just wait and vote in person. I mean, is voting in person kind of the best way to assure that your vote counts?
Well, it is in a lot of ways. And part of the reason is, if you have a question, if you're not sure if the signature you're, signing on your ballot matches what the election supervisor has on file, those issues are much easier to get resolved in person, where there are poll workers there who can assist you, answer questions in real time. And unfortunately, because that real-time assistance isn't available with mail-in ballots, we have been seeing higher rejection rates of those mail-in ballots for a variety of reasons. But, typically if there's some defect in the ballot, if the signature doesn't match, all of those typical types of issues that can come up, it's much harder to resolve and leads, frankly, to a much higher rate of disenfranchisement of voters who do participate in that mail-in voting process.
We're speaking with constitutional lawyer with Heritage Foundation, Zack Smith. Going back to the thing that you just said where maybe Nancy Pelosi would become president, I don't want to gloss over that. Just even for a hot second, I think it was important that you said that she would serve as, if she were the speaker, she would serve as the acting president. She doesn't become the president. She fills the role. What happens if we, because of coronavirus and because we could see more ballots being cast through mail-in purposes? What is it, a 25-ish difference? 17? I don't know. I don't remember what the difference is between Republicans and Democrats. But is it just the speaker who was, or do they have to vote on a speaker again as of Inauguration Day? How does that work?
Right. So you've highlighted a great point, Annie. And so Nancy Pelosi is currently the Speaker of the House. But, every 2 years, every member of the House of Representatives is up for re-election. And whenever that new House takes office, which is typically in the early part of January, the House votes on a new Speaker. And so if the Democrats retain control of the House, they would elect this, they would have the majority and would kind of have the votes to elect their preferred speaker. It could be Nancy Pelosi. It could be someone else. Or if the Republicans, retake control of the House, then presumably they would have the majority of votes to elect their preferred speaker. And so while it could be Nancy Pelosi if she's chosen as Speaker of the House again, it could be, somebody else depending on, how the political process plays out. But yeah, you're absolutely right. She would only, Nancy Pelosi or whoever the Speaker is, would only serve in an acting capacity until the presidential election issue is resolved. And then whoever, is declared the winner of that election would, of course, step in and take on the full duties of the presidency and the vice presidency.
Zach, the Trump administration has sued some of these states to try to hold them off from being able to enact this kind of a drastic change months before the election is underway. Have you followed those cases at all, or do you expect there to be any response before Election Day to rule decisively on the issue?
Well, and I think that highlights another important point, Annie. Unfortunately, we've seen in a lot of recent elections litigation before Election Day, after Election Day. And so it really highlights the needs for a lot of states to be proactive, to start thinking about these issues now. Even though we are relatively close to the election, there's still times to take protective, proactive steps. And so what's going to be a difficult situation is if we go into Election Day, we don't have a result on Election Day, and then there's litigation that follows on to that. And so, I think if jurisdictions take action now, if they kind of scale back their push for broad mail-in voting and kind of adhere to the more traditional absentee ballot approach, we all would be in a much better position to avoid a lot of these thorny issues that could come up down the road.
Well, Zach, we appreciate your time here, and I'm going to go with one of your first statements. I hope we don't have to come to any of this. It's definitely a matter of intrigue for many people who are listening, and of course, for our listeners, there's a lot of trepidation about the prospect of Nancy Pelosi figuring out how to become president. But the process is long and complicated, as it usually is with the Constitution. So we appreciate the experts coming on here, including yourself, Zach. Thank you so much for the time today.
Of course. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Katie, how many times have you seen that message come across the Facebook page? It's like
so many times.
Here's how Nancy's going to become president. And I'm like, no, it's not going to happen. Is it going to happen? I'm scared. I need to know. I need to tell them they're crazy. Zach, can you please tell me how this isn't the case? And he's like, so Nancy Pelosi will serve as the acting president if she's the Speaker of the House. Yeah, whatever. It's not going to happen. It'll be 2021. We'll have gotten all the weirdness out by then. It'll be over. Can you imagine like the complication of getting these ballots all tied up? And okay, first and foremost, folks, the states that are enacting all mail-in ballots, those are blue states. Those are states that are not going to be on the cusp of maybe going red, maybe going blue. That is something that will help you sleep okay tonight, but maybe next election, then we sound the panic alarm. Right now, this is something that's being pushed out in the bluest of blue states. And as far as the presidential election goes, I wouldn't see a massive change in electoral votes, if any. Down ballot, yeah. Possibly. And when you're looking at, you hear the Republicans talking about wanting to maintain or build the Republican lead in the majority in the Senate, or trying to chip away from that Republican minority in the House, those seats matter. I'm going to, I believe, be moderating a debate this week between two Illinois U.S. Congress representatives. I'll give you more information on that when I have it, when everything is finalized. But there are a lot of down ballot seats in Illinois that are very valuable on a national scale, where Joe Biden's probably going to win the state of Illinois, but there are still seats of enormous value to the net amount of Republicans in the House, or the net amount of Democrats that we could flip to Republicans. Like, we can still contribute there. And so then that's where the mail-in stuff makes me a little nervous. All right, Katie, I'm going to do this one because I'm excited about this next one. Do you guys feel like you speak Midwestern? Like, do you feel like we have our language?
Yep.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you ever go to non-Midwestern places and see your Midwesterner come out and you don't even realize you have it in you?
You know what I do is I feel superior because I feel like we have the least accent, and everywhere we go, we can judge others.
I actually think that the most Midwestern thing you can do is show humility. So we will discuss that when we come back. I've got some of these. We'll find out who here in the room participates and agrees with these. I already think I have an idea of how this is going to shake out. We'll be back in just a minute.
Everyone I know has been so good to me.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Mother, God rest her soul. I just wanna fly. Put your arms around me, baby. Put your arms.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Save $500 to $1,000 when you upgrade your HVAC system. Spend that tax return wisely and get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends at Window World. So Window World is a national company, but locally owned and operated here in St. Louis. Couple of North County boys, good people, good guys, just looking to do an honest day's work for an honest day's pay. So we only really have one big competitor. These are the guys that sell the $3,000 windows, negotiate them down to $2,000. You feel like a champ, but ours are still a fraction of that. For $2,000 even, you could do a whole house full of windows with Window World. We're one of only 2 window companies in the country that have the Good Housekeeping seal of approval. Better Business Bureau, Angie's List, Home Advisor. Everyone loves Window World. So check them out at windowworld.com or call 314-993-1800. Make sure you mention me for special financing offers. They have a lifetime warranty, a lifetime guarantee. Once you pay for that window, you'll never spend another dime on it. That's windowworld.com.
Building a home in the Metro East is an exciting endeavor. I have some friends who are looking at building a home right now, and I want you to check out C.A. Jones because in the Metro East, C.A. Jones, Inc. is the largest Metro East home builder, and I think it has a lot to do with their super customer-centric way of going about doing this. It's a stressful process to go through home building, and it's also super exciting, especially when the home product at the end ends up being as beautiful, as gorgeous, as well planned out and attended to as a C.A. Jones build. They have an Easy Buy program right now. And with C.A. Jones Easy Buy program, no 20% down, no interest payments while your home is being built or any of those headaches that come along with a traditional construction loan. They're going to take care of you from start to finish and make you feel comfortable throughout the entire process. C.A. Jones takes care of it all. It's really that simple. Call or text 618-777-6080. That's 618-777-6080 or reach out to them online at cajonesinc.com.
Attention St. Louis homeowners. Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis is looking to buy additional 5 houses in the next few weeks. We can pay cash and close in as little as 5 days. We buy houses in any condition, any location, and any situation throughout the St. Louis Metro. Call today, 314-782-7000, or go to our website, www.chrisbuysHomesSTL.com. That's chrisbuysHomesSTL.com. Just go there, fill out your information, and we'll reach out to you. We buy houses and apartment buildings. Call us today to get an offer. 314-782-7000. That's 314-782-7000. Or go online to www.chrisbuysHomesSTL.com. The process takes just 7 minutes to get a completely free, no-obligation cash offer for your property. Call Chris now, 314-782-7000. That's 314-782-7000. 314-782-7000.
Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm in St. Louis. I meet regularly with people who haven't filed tax returns in years. Did you know that if you have unfiled tax returns, you can be subject to jail time? That's right. The maximum penalty can be 1 year of jail time for every year of unfiled returns. So liens, wage garnishments, and bank levies should be the least of your worries if you have unfiled returns. Instead, you should get straight with the IRS and file those returns as soon as possible. This is true even if you can't pay what you owe. Call me today, Lance Drury, a local tax resolution attorney who knows how to resolve your tax problems before they turn into a prison sentence. And don't worry about not having records or receipts. The Landstory Law Firm can help you find the information you need to get the returns prepared and filed. As an attorney, I am trained to put pieces of your tax puzzle together for you. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues, you need an attorney. You need us, the Landstory Law Firm. Call us at 314-238-7360 or go to Lance, DRURYlaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
97.1 FM Talk is on the radio and online, on your smart speaker, on your phone, and streaming anytime at 971talk.com. Find it all at radio.com. 97.1 FM Talk.
No one told you life was gonna be this way.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks for choosing us on a Tuesday afternoon. Appreciate everybody who's watching us on our Facebook Live, our Annie Frey YouTube Live, also now at the Annie Frey Show on Periscope. If I'm gonna read some Midwesterner things, I'm really going to enjoy if any of you are watching from outside of the Midwest, to see if you can be like, yeah, that's weird. You pointed out, because I think this is going to be very relatable between Katie and Ryan, then also me. But for the folks who may not be from the Midwest, or maybe you've known a Midwesterner or two, or maybe they're things that you've heard us do on the show that you thought were weird, which would be even more awesome. All right, here's the first one. So this is just a series of posts that somebody had put up on Facebook. They're screenshots. I hate earthquakes very much. I'm a good Midwestern girl, and tornadoes are the proper way to receive the wrath of God. Do you fear earthquakes at all?
No.
I mean, we are sitting on one of the biggest fault lines right here in the St. Louis region. We are sitting on one of the biggest fault lines. It's like, nah.
Yeah, I don't care at all. And I remember in elementary and middle school, we did tornado drills maybe twice a month.
Mm-hmm.
We probably did earthquake drills once a year.
What about you, Ryan?
Yeah, I actually, I can't say I fear earthquakes, but I do think about the fact that we are on that fault line every couple of years. That subject will come up and it'll shake you a little bit.
The story pops up. They
Yeah.
talk about the fault line, but I mean, are you prepared for? I don't even know how to prepare for an earthquake.
I don't
Just,
either.
Like,
I
run
mean, I
around
know-
and panic.
Put
Yeah,
a
you
book
just-
on top of your head.
Yeah, you run around and then you just hide under the bed. I think you get in a doorway. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, well, I think the idea is to get away from stuff that's gonna fall, right? So
Yeah.
I live in Southern Illinois, so I would go outside. I think. Man, this just proves my point. I know exactly where to go in a tornado. I got
think it
that
was-
all laid out.
Within the last 10 years, do you remember experiencing an earthquake? We had one in our
Yeah.
area.
Yeah.
It was in the middle of the night.
08 or something
Yeah.
like that. And it woke me up.
Yep, me too.
I remember it laying there and it woke me up long enough for me to go, is that an earthquake? And then be like, yeah, this is an earthquake. And then it was over.
Yeah, and I thought my dog was scratching its ear and was hitting the bed. And I thought, oh man, that dog's really scratching. And then I figured out it was an earthquake.
I remember that. I don't know why I remember this particular part, but just because it was so ridiculously funny. I remember my mom saying that she was like half woken up out of a dream and she thought raccoons were jumping up and down in her room. Like,
I mean, didn't we all think something
what
like
kind of
that?
rednecks are going? Like, what is this? Does this happen to you?
Raccoons are back. First thing you think of when you wake up and something's shaking.
Big old
Chuck, did you close the door? I thought I told you to close the door. The raccoons are back in the room. They're jumping up and down, shaking the whole dang house.
Causing a ruckus.
Group in the country. What can I say?
Yeah, no kidding.
Here's the next one. Every time a Midwesterner says, "Ope," or "let me just squeeze by ya," a cornstalk bursts from the ground somewhere in rural Ohio.
Amen.
I say "ope" all the time. I can't not say it. I've tried to like censor myself, and I'm like, no, this is not worth it even trying because I can't stop.
Me too. I can't not say it. I got it from my
What is
dad,
it?
and I thought it was just a my dad thing, and then somebody made an internet meme out of it.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I'm like, wow, maybe my parents just said this all the time and now I say it. And then on the internet, it was like, no, this is a total Midwest cultural thing.
I never even thought of the word OPE. Ope.
Nope.
Nope. It's not a word. It's a sound. It's like it's a movement of air that comes out of your mouth and says, oh.
It's a reflex. It's not even, you can't control it at all.
You can't stop that.
It happens. And I've analyzed this word. Tell me if you agree.
Oh gosh.
Do you see my mom's comment here? Those damn raccoons.
Why Iona?
She knows what I'm talking about. That's a true story. I'm not making that up.
But doesn't that word come from something like not saying oops, almost saying oops, but then it just
Oops
becomes
and O?
Oh and oops.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
Oh, so we made one word and now we can't stop. It is a visceral reaction to an uncomfortable situation. I don't know. Okay.
I say, let me just squeeze by there all the time too. Like, especially if it's like a long distance thing where I'm down the aisle at one end and I see where I need to go at the other and that person's there. I'm like, I'm just going to squeeze by there really quickly. I'm sorry.
Okay. When you're going through the aisle, do you give somebody the butt or the other way?
I don't know. I don't know.
I was gonna say butter crotch, but
let's clip that promo. Chris said, I said, let me squeeze you by let me squeeze by you yesterday. Amy said, I had no idea OPE was a Midwestern thing. Yeah, it absolutely is. Here's one. That Midwest feel when the tornado sirens go off and you panic for a second before remembering, oh, it's just Tuesday.
Oh,
yep. Oh,
it's just Tuesday. You didn't even mean to do that, did you?
I didn't. It says oh, and I said oh.
Yes, you did.
And I didn't mean to do it.
It's the first of the month.
Have you ever done that? You're like, oh gosh, what's going on? It seems lovely. Oh, it's Tuesday at 10 a.m. Got it.
The first thing you have to think of when you hear the siren. Is it a Tuesday?
Mm-hmm.
This person comments, what does this mean? And then they reply, it means if it's Tuesday, bro. It means it's Tuesday, bro. If a tornado hits on a Tuesday, it can't hurt you. Those are the rules.
Yep,
Them's the breaks.
Yep. Yeah. What would happen if we ever actually had a tornado on Tuesday?
At 10 a.m.?
Yeah, it'd be bad news.
I think we know. There'd be a lot of people casually dying.
Yes.
All right. Midwesterners be like, no, yeah, that means yes.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, no, that means no. And yeah, no, for sure means definitely.
Yeah, that's right. Is that
a
Midwest thing too? I didn't know. I thought that was just an everybody in America thing.
This suggests that it is. If
Okay.
somebody can correct me, yeah, no. Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
It's like saying you agree, no, or I agree, yes, no,
Yeah.
yes. Wait, maybe.
This one is a poem. Roses are red. The Midwest is dope. Puppy chow, caramels, and ranch. Oh,
Yep. Oh my gosh. Puppy chow. That is got to be top favorite desserts for me.
Do people
Puppy
make that
chow?
outside of Christmas
Oh
though?
my God. I love puppy chow.
yeah. Trivia nights. It's a great trivia night.
Yeah,
food.
that's true. Yeah.
That's probably a Midwestern thing. Do people not in the Midwest sit at 8-foot long, 50-year-old folding tables and do trivia?
Oh,
No, yeah.
No, yeah, definitely, for sure.
Definitely.
Midwest Thanksgiving. Oh, excuse me, just gonna sneak right by you and grab me some stuffing.
That's very polite to be with your family.
And
I'm
this
like,
is
move it.
This is one that makes me laugh because Katie and I have talked about this in real life. When you compliment a Midwesterner on a personal possession, it is custom for him or her to respond by explaining that he acquired said item at a significant discount.
Oh
All
yeah,
day.
definitely.
Oh, it's on sale, only $5.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Katie, I love your sweater. Where'd you get it?
I found it clearance JCPenney's right before coronavirus. It was great.
It's like you have to say for sure, look, I am not wealthy.
Yeah.
I want you to know that this was not expensive and
Humble.
I do not buy things.
All back to humble.
Here's one. Someone says, oh my gosh, do you smell the air? Californians are like, it's question mark, New Yorkers, question marks, Midwesterners. Yep, there's a tornado coming in 2 days. Y'all better get ready.
I don't get that one because I can't smell anything anyway.
You ever smell dirt in the air or corn in the air or rain in the air?
Yeah,
No, I
rain's
can
big.
tell when I go into a cave that it smells a little different. That's about it. That's a Midwestern thing. We got a lot of caves.
Smells damp in here.
This is Illinois. This is flatland.
Well, that's true.
Accidentally bumps into someone. My brain. Don't say it. 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 Oh.
That's given a lot of credit because it's an instinct. You can't decide not to. It comes out. You can't decide.
Kurt comments on Facebook and says, what is, quotes, puppy chow?
Oh my god!
Explain puppy chow, Katie.
It's like the checks. It's the
Christopher
canned
says it's crack
Chex.
cocaine and chocolate cereal form.
It's chocolate mixed with powdered sugar, and what else is in there? It's powdered sugar, chocolate, and one other
Peanut
thing.
butter.
Peanut butter. And it's so delicious. It's like got this nice crunch, and the powdered sugar perfectly stays on the Chex because of the chocolate. It's so great. And it makes your tummy upset. It makes your tummy really upset after you eat too much of it. Yeah, no.
No, yeah. Yeah, no, for sure.
Do we say tummy in the Midwest too, or just tum? My tum?
Nobody says tum.
No? That's my family thing then.
You call your stomach a tum?
My immediate family were like, "Oh, is your tum hurt?" It's always tum.
Tum.
Yep.
It was a hyper local
That's very, very
colloquialism.
local.
Yeah, your comments are making me laugh. Pork steaks are a Midwestern thing. Do pork steaks venture outside of the realm of St. Louis or
I don't
maybe the
think so.
greater St. Louis region?
I do not think so. Yeah, I usually, whenever I go to Kansas City and I talk about pork steaks, all of my Kansas City friends are like, I don't know what you're referring to.
Also,
Like, what is
the
that?
word Hoosier as an insult is a very St. Louis thing.
Yes.
Like if you were to call somebody a Hoosier, obviously in Indiana, that's not an insult. That's their mascot.
Right.
And in Missouri, it's definitely not a compliment. So there's just some fun things to talk about to break up the day a little bit. What'd you think about those? Are you guys Midwestern?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
The one qualifier is ope. If you do that, you're a Midwesterner. There's no doubt about it.
You can't shake it. Katie, what do we got coming up next on the show here?
Is the RNC making a strong case to encourage voters to consider voting Republican this election? We will ask Marc Cox about this at 107.
I can't wait to hear what he has to say. Mark, when we come back and your comments continuing on the Facebook Live and the YouTube Live in just a minute. Don't go anywhere.
Your garage door is the largest piece of moving equipment in your home. When it needs help, call the experts at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Their certified technicians repair all brands of doors and openers, and you can even schedule evening and weekend service. Just call 314-781-5200 and always look for the red ribbon. It's your assurance you've got the genuine, the original Overhead Door, the most trusted garage door company in St. Louis since 1926. For same-day service, schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com or call 314-781-5200.
Ready for a positive 2020 surprise? Here's one from Diamonds Direct. The return of our best offer ever. 5 years, zero interest financing. Yes! Starting Monday the 31st, backed by popular demand. Pick any item. Get the amazing value price Diamonds Direct is known for. Pay nothing down and spread your payments over 5 years with zero interest. And you can even finance the sales tax. Fine jewelry has never been more affordable. 5 years, zero interest on anything and everything starting September 1st at Diamonds Direct. Get details, directions, and store hours at diamondsdirect.com.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. Mortgage interest rates are in the twos, and we are saving homeowners hundreds, even thousands of dollars a month with an easy refinance. We're also making it so that you can skip 2 full months of mortgage payments and get some cash out at closing. And if you're even thinking about buying a home, we can get you pre-approved the same day, and you can close on your new home in less than 30 days. thehomeloanexpert.com.
The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
The Vitae Foundation's mission is to encourage a culture of life and reduce abortion numbers through research-based messaging. I love working with the Vitae Foundation because they're taking into consideration the baby, of course, but also the woman who has to make this choice and providing her with a life-affirming research that will help her choose life and give her the confidence, the compassion that she needs in that moment to make that confident choice with life. I want to invite you to go to vitaefoundation.org right now and check out the event taking place September 29th. Now, there is certainly limited capacity, and they've made this event going to be both virtual and in person. The keynote speaker for that event, Trey Gowdy. I am so excited to be emceeing this event and to be in participation here with former Representative Gowdy and to hear what he has to say and to hear his message. If you would like to be involved with this, if you'd like to attend the virtual session, or if you would like to get on a wait list to possibly get a seat if it opens up, I want to encourage you to go online to their website, check out vitaefoundation.org.
In uncertain times, your generosity makes a difference. Today, thanks to community donations, we're here to meet human needs without discrimination. The Salvation Army is helping those in need affected by COVID-19. For those whose wages have been lost, those who are in need of food or have no place to call home, and for so many others who desperately need help and hope in this time. Your donation today ensures no one is turned away or overlooked.
KFTK FM Florissant, K254CR St. Louis, driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk, a radio.com station.
Convention controversy. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. America's top diplomat is set to make history tonight, not only addressing a political convention, but doing it from foreign soil. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo speaking from Jerusalem as he travels in the Middle East.
The Biden campaign put out a statement accusing Pompeo of using his office for political gain, calling his speech an abuse of taxpayer dollars. The State Department says none of its resources are being used.
Fox's Rachel Sutherland. First Lady Melania Trump is scheduled to speak from the newly remodeled Rose Garden. Two of the president's children, Eric and Tiffany, are also in tonight's lineup. The president again urging the Oregon governor and the Portland mayor to call in federal resources after months of protests that turned violent at night. Last night, demonstrators demanding justice for Jacob Blake, a black man hospitalized after being shot by police in Kenosha, Wisconsin, which had a second night of riots after protests.
Many in the crowd of several hundred that had initially gathered here at the county courthouse moved on and set fire to local businesses, burning several of them to the ground. They were defying an 8 p.m. curfew that had been imposed by the Kenosha Police Department. The protesters simply would not obey that curfew. They started throwing fireworks at the police lines. The police then responded with volleys of tear gas.
Fox's Jonathan Hunt in Kenosha. Wisconsin's Democratic governor did activate the National Guard yesterday. Texas and Louisiana are bracing for Laura, which is now a hurricane that forecasters warn could grow to a Category 3 by the time it hits the Gulf Coast late tomorrow or early Thursday. New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell expecting up to 6 inches of rain.
That rate of water, how fast we get it, which will have an impact on how fast we can drain our city.
Hundreds of thousands ordered to evacuate along the coast. America is listening to Fox News.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So what do you provide? Cookie cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
On this Tuesday afternoon, it's hot, it's humid, partly to mostly sunny skies, just a tiny little chance of a spot thunderstorm. 95 for the high. Tonight, clear skies, only a slow pullback in temperature this evening. 75 for the overnight low. Wednesday, hot and humid, partly to mostly sunny skies. It does look like increasing chances of rain and thunderstorms Thursday. That's tropical moisture from the Gulf. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Hey guys, Glover here. If you are nearing retirement or already retired, call Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. He'll show you how to participate in the market gains without ever losing a penny. Thomas is the official financial advisor of the DGS.
Now is the perfect time to learn how to play the piano. Hi, this is Kathy from Lacefield Music. Lacefield Music's innovative 8-week adult piano classes will teach you how to read music, play with both hands the very first week, and after only 8 weeks, you'll be able to play all your favorite songs. We don't know of another program that can promise this. Plus, did you know that playing the piano reduces stress, depression, and with the Lacefield Music Piano course, it's fun. There aren't many things that you can do right now that's fun and social. Masks are required, our classrooms are socially distanced, and everything is sanitized before every class. We will keep you safe. This course usually costs $100, but twice a year we offer it for the low price of only $29.99 for all 8 classes. Classes are forming now for both our South County and Chesterfield Valley locations. Only $29.99 for all 8 weeks. Go online to sign up at lacefieldmusic.com or call 314-845-3760. That's 314-845-3760.
It's the 20th anniversary of 97.1, and we're celebrating 20 years of great Dave Glover Show moments with Michael's Flooring Outlet.
A wasp is in our den, flying about. Yeah. And Fern's like, just let him alone. He won't do anything. Let him. He's been here like part of the day. Let him alone.
We're friends.
Yeah. And all of a sudden,
the wasp stings Fern.
On the foot. Yes. Stung her right on the foot. And she's like, oh, it stung me. And I go, you idiot. I could have taken this bug out in a heartbeat.
But you killed him?
Big time.
Killed him dead.
And then she was in the bathroom and she's like, really? And I walked in, I go, I have avenged you, my dove. And I see, oh, you're so handsome. Thank you.
It did.
GS20. Listen. Mike of Michael's Flooring Outlet. Proud to be Dave's first live endorsement and being part of so many sweet memories for the past 20 years. Thank you again, St. Louis and the Dave Glover Show. 97.1. Rock on. Check me out. IGotFloored.com.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel, and host of On the Money, heard every Saturday morning at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Nearly every week, our team meets with clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and in some cases actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion on your retirement plan today. When you work with us at the ClearPath Wealth Management Group, we're committed to providing you with guidance that's in your best interest. No exceptions. To request your free consultation, contact us at bobstockdale.com. That's bobstockdale.com. Again, that's bobstockdale.com. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
This is where St. Louis comes to talk. 97.1 FM Talk. Join the conversation digitally. Download the radio.com app so you can live stream from anywhere. The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on a Saturday, and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Consider this. The Marxist liberal activist leading the mob to our neighborhood stood outside our home with a bullhorn screaming, "You can't stop the revolution." Just weeks later, that same Marxist activist won the Democrat nomination to hold a seat in the U.S. House of Representatives. In the city of St. Louis, that's the same as winning the general election. That Marxist revolutionary is now going to be the congresswoman from the 1st District of Missouri.
So that is Mark McCloskey last night at the RNC. Boy, what a journey that family has been on, from defending their home with weapons and watching as protesters marched across their property to now sitting at the RNC advocating for Americans to choose Donald Trump. And one more thing before we get our guest on here, the distinction that they made at the convention last night was a pretty stark one.
America is such a great country that not only do you have the right to own a gun and use it to defend yourself,
but thousands of Americans will offer you free advice on how to use it. At least that's what we experienced. What you saw happen to us could just as easily happen to any of you who are watching from quiet neighborhoods around our country.
So that was Mrs. McCluskey talking about what happened to her. I assume she never thought this was going to take place on her doorstep, but she's assessing the situation and saying this could happen anywhere, at any time, to anybody. Marc Cox watching the RNC last night, covering it this morning as well, and joining us on the show right now to tell us.
It's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. We can't.
I'm the best there is at what I do.
And that's the bottom line.
So, Mark, the number one question that I want to know from you, we're one day into the RNC. I want to know from you, do you think that the RNC has the capability and the substance to sway anybody's mind? Because, I'm voting for Trump. I'm watching because it's my pep rally. Is there enough there last night, and do you anticipate enough in the days to come to possibly get those 10% of people who are undecided to say, you know what, maybe Trump isn't the guy who I've been told he is the whole time?
Yeah, no. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm kicked back to the last segment.
Oh,
I'm sorry about that. No, I'm just kidding. No, I do believe.
No means no. No, yeah means yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, no, for sure means definitely.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, that's it. If people are paying attention, yes. I just don't know if enough people. Are you preaching to the choir? Are there independents out there who are paying attention to the amount of diversity that the Republican National Convention put on display last night? I loved the Tim Scott speech, from cotton to Congress.
Oh,
that was amazing. The Cuban immigrant who talked about seeing people that he knew well die in the socialist communist system in Cuba. And people died getting on planks of wood to try to paddle their way to America, and warning us not to go down that path. It was amazing. Herschel Walker, Haley did a great job stressing the fact that she's a woman of color, and yet she got elected in South Carolina, the first minority, the first female elected down there. They did a great job of displaying that up until the point when Kimberly Guilfoyle started yelling at people. I thought they were on the right track.
Oh my
Mark,
gosh.
I know that we've got 3 more days of this, and we've still got 3 more months of this. But do you think that this was a bit? Are we getting a bit of a preview right now and for the next couple of days of 2024?
I hope. I was watching Tim Scott last night, wondering that very thing, and of course Nikki Haley, and somebody mentioned that Donald Trump Jr. might be a contender in 2024. At the very least, you can look at that with some hope that there are people out there who are attractive candidates for that position at some point, and hopefully, this is the big thing. Hopefully, these are people that have learned the good things from Donald Trump, that you can't back down from the folks on the left or they will eat you alive. And it's one reason they despise Donald Trump. He's gotten a big portion of his agenda through because he won't back down. He will not give up, and he dogs them and he gives them nicknames, and there may be things that people don't like, but I'm hoping that he has schooled some of these candidates that we don't need another Mitt Romney, and we don't need another John McCain, somebody who's going to go along to get along. We need somebody that's going to take the bull by the horns and demand some action.
It's interesting that you say John McCain and Mitt Romney, because I feel like those are both candidates that the Republican Party put up that allowed the election to be a complete and total referendum on who the other person was. It wasn't about what this person, what kind of innovative ideas were being, brought to the table to try to move our country forward. It was like, what's the old reliable thing that we can go to? Because we feel it's like you're placing your bets on the other guy or girl, the other person in the race being so unlikable that we will win by default. Joe Biden is 100% that. It's this election so far, and I've seen nothing to suggest anything differently, is 100% do you like Trump or do you hate Trump? And if you hate Trump, then you vote for Biden. I don't know that that's going to translate as much as the Democrats want, just like it didn't as much as Mitt Romney's Republican Party wanted, or John McCain for that matter.
That's a good point. I just think that you have placeholders. Certainly Biden fits in that category. This is his third try, his actually third and a half if you count one that he dropped out of pretty early on, I believe. This is his third try at it. And it's almost by default that he ended up being the candidate out of a very diverse crowd. And I mean, the Democratic Party prides itself on its diversity, and they ended up with an almost 80-year-old white man who's been around for 48 years. That shows you that their system is not as open and progressive as they like to tell you that it is. I just at the time, who did I vote for? Romney and McCain.
Sure.
But in hindsight, realizing what I know now about the two of them, I can't imagine what positive things would have come out of their presidencies, because they're soft Democrats, in my opinion.
Let's listen to Van Jones, somebody who I actually really respect and appreciate his insight on things, because I feel like he's actually calling the shots as he sees them, not predisposed to specific personal opinions about things. But listen to what he said.
On the one hand, I think everybody here would applaud and should applaud the fact that the Trump administration has helped the black colleges, criminal justice reform. There is stuff here that should be applauded. I'm not so much for partisan. I won't give them that due.
So there is stuff that this president has done to help the African-American community. The first thing that you talked about is wanting people to see the diversity that was exemplary throughout the course of last night. I saw people on the more mainstream media networks saying, once again, the Republicans, it didn't look nearly as diverse as the Democrats' convention did. I really, truly believe that there are pundits who know what they're going to say before anything even happens. They go on and say it, and they're just relying on people not doing any fact checking for themselves. They could say whatever they want, and people will just take it as gospel.
I would agree with that. Annie, if I have to listen to Donna Brazil one more time, I'm going to break the mute button on my remote. I almost can't believe Fox employs her anymore. She was the failed presidential campaign manager for Al Gore, and that's about all that she's ever accomplished before they threw her in charge of the DNC for a couple of years. Here's the thing. I switched over to MSNBC at some point because they were carrying the Republican convention. And as soon as Donald Trump did his piece where he was in the East Room of the White House, and he had those 6 people in there, and he was asking them about their backgrounds, and some of them were nurses, some of them were teachers. As soon as that segment was over, they cut back to the desk with Rachel Maddow and Joy, and I forget who the other person was on there. And it was their truth alert. We are breaking into this coverage to tell you some of the lies that the president just told. And, Rachel Maddow in her most earnest voice telling you, we can't put up with this. We can't air these complete lies. And I'm thinking to myself, where were you last week? I mean, I didn't watch last week, but did you call out the Democrats on any of the garbage that they spewed at their convention? And my guess is the answer is no.
Mark, we got to ask you a couple of hard-hitting questions about your head. You don't have any hair anymore because you raised over $11,000. That's amazing for Backstoppers. So the first question is, are you obsessed with rubbing your head right now?
I am. I do it all the time.
And then
I do it all the time.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I'm going to say it has surprisingly grown a little bit of hair back fairly quickly, given the fact that it got shaved with a razor on Friday. So now I'm rubbing it, and it feels like a piece of Velcro.
That was actually my follow-up question is, are you going to do a fundraiser every 4 weeks so that you can get a free haircut?
No. Now I've decided to stop shaving the mustache and the goatee just to see if
you trying to look like Dave Glover?
Which one grows faster.
You should have we should have a Dave Glover lookalike contest for charity, and then Dave would pick the winner. I think that you get the goatee going and everything. It'd be hard to tell the difference between you two.
We should do it just for 97.1 hosts and see if Annie can pull it off.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Pull that off. There's got to be some medicine out there somewhere I could take. Oh man. Well, we streamed it here. We were talking. I don't know if you went back. I don't know why you would have, but we kind of like play-by-played it here on the air when you had it done last Friday. We were really proud of you and really proud of your connection with Backstoppers to do this. I know your hair is important to you, but I can tell what is the most important to you, and we commend you for that. Proud to be your coworker on this radio station, and thank you so much for doing that so that I don't have to.
Yeah, well, thank you for saying that. The total we ended up raising was $12,095. Wow. So we broke 12 grand.
That's fantastic. Well,
I was very happy.
Well-deserved accolades for you. Thank you so much for doing that. And always great to talk to you here. And I look forward to talking to you again Friday morning on your show.
You bet. Talk to you later, guys. Thanks.
All right. Bye, Mark. Man, this is something to... Hair is a personal thing. Mm-hmm. And taking it off, especially when you have a full head of hair like you did, woo, it was a pretty awesome thing that he did there. All right. Let's take a quick break. Katie, what do you have coming up here? Do you have that?
I don't know.
No.
Stick around for more of that.
No, this is something that's interesting.
Oh, okay.
There's Joe Biden's received a new endorsement, and the endorsement is from somebody who, if you were going to just listen to the mainstream media, if you were going to just listen to maybe the Rachel Maddows of the world, you'd think, okay, this guy is going to endorse somebody. Who would it be? He's a leader of a white supremacist group. He was the person who helped organize Charlottesville. His name is Richard Spencer, and he has come out and endorsed Joe Biden. Now, how is that possible? Because I thought all the white supremacists loved Donald Trump. We'll talk about that when we come back. Don't go anywhere. Back in just a minute.
I never dreamed that I'd meet somebody like you. I never dreamed that I'd lose somebody like you.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show.
I don't wanna fall in love.
Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. Decision 2020 is here at 971talk.com/election and at radio.com. Brought to you by Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling on 97.1 FM Talk.
Our homes are where we feel the most happy, safe, and secure. So when we see cracks in the drywall, uneven floors, or other signs of foundation settlement, we want to make sure that it's repaired right and fixed forever. At Woods Basement Systems, we understand. We're a family business that's been eliminating foundation worries since 1986. And once we repair your home, we stand behind it with a transferable life of the home warranty. So the next family who lives there will also enjoy the same peace of mind. So if you have foundation problems, learn more at woodsbasementsystems.com. That's woodsbasementsystems.com. Or call 800-388-9326 for a free estimate. That's 800-388-9326. Woods Basement Systems, because foundation problems don't get better with time, they get better with us. All things basementing experts.
We are Woods, we fix basements for your peace of mind.
Systems.com.
You're certainly not going to let just anybody come in and look at your retirement since you're so very close. You're in your late 50s, you're in your early 60s, and you've been working your tail off to make sure that the retirement that you've always dreamed about is going to be there at the end of your career. When it comes time to shift into protecting your retirement rather than accumulating it as much, I want to introduce you to Thomas Helbig. He is a wonderful friend of our show, of myself, and of 97.1, and he is the guy you need with the Retirement Advisory Group, protecting your retirement because he knows exactly how to do it. He can offer you a no-cost, no-obligation retirement review when we do the seminars with him, which we unfortunately haven't been able to do as of the last few months, but hope to be able to get back in person to do again soon.
the people who sit and listen to him, they almost all sign up with him because what he says makes so much sense. If you want to be a part of his clientele who's never lost a penny, you need to reach out and book that no cost, no obligation retirement review. 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494. Or visit Thomas Helbig online at retirementkey.com.
Hi, this is Jim Miller, and Origins is back.
I said to Cameron, I'm like, this doesn't come around very often, and I want to be in this movie.
Chapter 6, Almost Famous turns 20.
I am a golden god!
You made friends with them.
Well, it was fun.
Because they make you feel cool.
To celebrate Almost Famous 20th anniversary, we've managed to put the band back together again, including the director and writer of the film, Cameron Crowe himself. Plus, Kate Hudson, Frances McDormand, Billy Crudup, Jason Lee, Patrick Fugit, Zooey Deschanel, Jimmy Fallon, rock stars Peter Frampton and Nancy Wilson, and more.
It's what it's like to be a fan, to love some band so much that it hurts.
Join me as it all unfolds with Origins Chapter 6, Almost Famous turns 20. Subscribe now on radio.com, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your shows.
Hiring can be challenging, but ZipRecruiter makes it fast and easy. We talked to COO Dylan Miskowitz, who needed to hire a director of coffee for his company, Cafe Altura.
We would look through lots of applications for people who were not qualified. It definitely felt like we were looking for a needle in a haystack.
So Dylan started using ZipRecruiter and found his perfect candidate in a few days. ZipRecruiter's powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free.
We were very impressed with how quickly we had quality candidates apply through ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter is a powerful tool in our hiring process.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The Annie Frey Show.
I think there is a silent majority. I know for a fact that I'm one of them.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
Come this November, it's not going to be a wave, it's going to be a tsunami.
The Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
White lies and desperation, hard times and conversations. No one should ever love me like you do. Sometimes my bad decisions define.
I challenge you to find a better band out there right now than Need to Breathe. Speaking of my yesterday, if you were listening yesterday, I think it was when I told you I know nothing about music.
So let the comments.
My apologies ahead.
I know
Need to
about
Breathe.
4 bands, and this is the best one in the world.
It's like, this is how you grade Joe Biden's speeches. That's the best speech Joe Biden's ever given. Well, the last one he said, if you don't vote Biden, you ain't black. So he's knocking this one out of the park.
Yeah.
Don't anybody send this to Need to Breathe. Just pretend this didn't happen. These are not the droids you're looking for. Just look over there. Turn on Keishi. Listen to some good music or something. I don't know. That's the stupidest thing I've ever said on the radio.
Don't do that. Stay here.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do anything she just said.
Yeah. At least turn on like Y98. That's a sister station. I was talking about this endorsement that Joe Biden got. Now, if Trump got this endorsement, you know, how would we feel? How would the media be reacting to Richard Spencer? This is an article in the Federalist. I'd highly encourage you to check out to the Federalist and subscribe to it. It is one of the, in my opinion, best publications that's out there. And also, a side note before we get into content here, Katie, Ryan, you can weigh in on this as well. Our generation doesn't buy newspaper subscriptions. Ryan, you probably do, don't you? Do you subscribe to the newspaper?
Not anymore. Not anymore.
I'm gonna say that, and Ryan's gonna be like, I get 3 papers every morning and sit and drink my coffee and tell my wife to get back in the kitchen. No, I'm kidding. I think that when you look at our generation, the way we consume news and information is so different than the generation that is before us. When you look at a website and you get annoyed with the ads, like there are some websites, and I'm not going to name them, that put news and information out there where the ads are, it's insufferable. Like you open the website, you've got pop-ups, you've got, every paragraph has 4 ads in between it. It's like, I can't do this. I don't want to know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you're telling me, when Jesus is coming back. I can't commit to reading and looking at this many ads to get to the bottom of this article. I'll be here when Jesus returns. I think that when you have the opportunity to get great content, like at the Federalist, I really like the Daily Wire, Wall Street Journal. If it's a place that you have, find yourself frequenting, if they ask you to subscribe for like $30 a year, consider doing it, because that limits the ads that you have to deal with when you're reading it. But it's also how these people are making a living providing this content. Like if you're reading article after article after article and you're sharing it and you're telling people and you're spreading this information around, it still requires somebody to dedicate their life's work to making that happen. And I think that we are probably in a shift in technology right now where, you're not going to get a paper delivered to the end of your driveway or in your mailbox for free. You're going to pay $1 or something for that paper to come to your mailbox. But we are not used to paying for content that we get online. We just think it's on the internet, and you pay to have internet and the rest of the stuff on there. If it's news and information, you feel like you should just have it. I think that we need to make sure that we are making good financial decisions with our dollars to make sure that the news coverage that seems to be actually making a difference is funded. And it's going to be funded by people who patronize it. And I think in the digital age, we become hesitant to do that. And then you get on a website and there are so many ads, it's not even consumable. And then you don't read it and then it goes away. Am I being a fuddy-duddy about that? Do you kind of get what I'm saying?
No, absolutely. And I think it's also important.
No,
yeah.
No, yeah. No,
all the
you're
time.
exactly right.
No, you're absolutely 100% on the mark.
Yeah, you're being a fuddy-duddy.
You're being a fuddy-duddy. And that's the end of that.
That's a good Western word.
I think it's very important to support things that you're passionate about. And I mean, the Federalist is such a fantastic website, super clean. And like you said, you don't get advertisements just bombarding you, popping up nonstop. And that's really important right now.
Mm-hmm.
I would kind of disagree, because I'm usually like, I'm not buying your subscription, because if you don't do it, some other schmo is going to give me the same information somewhere else. However, they're usually pretty cheap. It's like $1 a month sometimes for those things. So it's kind of worth it.
And I also think too that there's a difference between people who report news and people who report on the reporting of the news. You can watch or read a Fox News article or a CNN article or an NBC article or a Yahoo article, and you can stitch those together and find out where's the truth in this, and then you can write an article that talks about that, and then you formulate your own opinion about it. When you have people actually doing research who have access, it's the access that you're paying for, not somebody's opinion. Opinions are like, when you are consuming something from somebody that's requiring them to use access and connection to provide you new information, I would recommend considering support. Like, know that your dollars, even if it's just a few dollars, are making an actual difference. And I think the Federalist is definitely one of those places. I've kind of changed my tune a little bit as far as consuming media. I used to be very annoyed when it was like, oh, there's a paywall here. I'm not paying to read this, just like you said, Ryan. But I feel like I trust the Federalist to get my information from them. So that's the way this works.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of it's not like I'm handing out, $30 a year here and 30 years. There's probably 3 maybe places that I would pay for. And there's 2 that I already do that I think is worth it. Just something to consider as somebody who has worked in digital for over a decade. And I just see the tides turning. And I think that it's going to take us some time, because I think that newspapers, hard and fast newspapers, are a thing of the past. So let's get back to this Federalist article. Ryan, I want to know from you. The headline is "White Supremacist Who Organized Charlottesville Race Riots Endorses Donald Trump." If that were the headline, how many people would be talking about it today versus the actual headline on the Federalist? White supremacist who organized Charlottesville race riots endorses Joe Biden. That's who this guy endorsed. And he goes on to say it's not so much philosophical. He just thinks that the Democrats are more competent.
Wow.
That's why Richard Spencer, who is a self-proclaimed neo-Nazi white supremacist and the organizer of the 2017 Charlottesville riots, is going to endorse Joe Biden.
Yeah, I mean, the
wish he would
fact
have done that
is-
at the DNC. That would have been nice.
Yeah, right. Air that one. This would be trending on Twitter on the right side of the page for sure. Let alone the other articles that would be written about Donald Trump being a racist, which isn't fair. I mean, it's not even fair in this circumstance. If somebody endorses you, you don't endorse them back. You know, anybody can endorse anybody, and we can just say, oh, well, you know, that guy's a white supremacist and he hates raccoons and children. So
a raccoon heavy show.
It keeps coming up in other segments. But it's just, the whole endorsement thing, outside of maybe major political figures or entertainment figures or something that people look to, it's always weird to take an endorsement and say, well, that's what the politician believes in then.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to play this quick clip here last night from Tim Scott, who closed out the convention last night.
Brian, let me say this first. A racist president does not provide the highest funding for HBCUs in the history of the country, and he certainly does not make that funding permanent.
So that's Tim Scott reacting to the fact that, and I've heard Trump tell this story multiple times, and it's such an important story. Historically, black colleges and universities had to go back and the way they explain it, crawl back and ask for more every year. And Trump said, weren't you just here? Didn't we just talk about this? And they're like, yeah, but they make us come back every year. And he said, that's ridiculous. Let's make it permanent. So he's funded these HBCUs to the tune greater than anybody who has done it before. And Trump did that. And I don't know that at the time, I mean, I remember it being a story, but it wasn't trumpeted. Do you think that if Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, or Barack Obama would have done that, it would have been a week's long worth of news with, news packages talking about HBCUs and how important they are? They are super important. We should do that, but we shouldn't only do it when it's politically expeditious for us. So I want to play this other clip, and this is just a little bit longer, not terribly long, but this line last night from Senator Tim Scott, black senator from South Carolina. He closed out the event, and his point is exactly what America
My
is all about.
grandfather's 99th birthday would have been tomorrow. Growing up, he had to cross the street if a white person was coming. He suffered the indignity of being forced out of school as a third grader to pick cotton, and he never learned to read or write. Yet he lived long enough to see his grandson become the first African American to be elected to both the United States House and the United States Senate in the history of this country. Our family went from cotton to Congress in one lifetime. And that's why I believe the next American century can be better than the last.
So cotton to Congress in one generation.
That's
Holy
awesome.
cow,
That's
it's real.
awesome.
It's real. It's fact. How do you deny that? And then you have, the people on the other side of the aisle saying that it wasn't diverse enough last night and then it was dark and gloomy. That is the hope of America. That, what he just said right there, is the whole stinking point of what we're doing here. I saw Benjamin Watson, who is a tight end in the NFL. I adore him. His politics are kind of on both sides of the aisle, but he is super pro-life. He's got like 7 kids, and he is so outspoken about fatherhood, the importance of fatherhood, and the importance of preserving life. But he said he had 2 questions. Was America racist? And if so, when did it stop? And I think that this is so key, folks. America to me is an idea. America to me is an idea that was had by people who left a place where the king ruled, where people were told what they were going to do, how they were going to do it, when they were going to do it, how much they were going to do. That's what we left. And we came here and we looked at each other and said, I don't know that we want to go back to that kind of monarchy. We want to do something different where the people have the power. And they decided that all men were created equal. In the midst of saying that all men were created equal, they didn't enact that. It was all white men were created equal. They didn't say women were created equal. But the idea of America was rooted in that all men were created equal. And look what we have done in an actual very short amount of time. to get to the point where in August 25th, 2020, and you've got a senator from South Carolina who is black, who beat out a Thurmond for his seat. And he's talking about going from the cotton fields to Congress in a generation. That's the whole point of America. And if you don't hear that and get the goosebumps when you understand what America provides people, to understand that what you were born into is not going to determine where you are going to die, and that your generations and generations and generations after you can benefit from what you set up for them, but they can take a turn and make a choice for themselves about where they want to live their life or how they want to live their life or what they want success to look like for them. That's the idea of America. Was America ever racist? I think the humans that put America together were broken people. I think the individuals who came together were broken individuals. And when they comprised this idea of what America was, that idea became something to pursue. I think it's ridiculous to suggest that America has no racism in its past or in its present and likely in its future. We're not so powerful that we can eradicate brokenness from humanity. But what we can do is always pursue something better. We can always work to make America great again in the sense that we are always working to improve. And if you look in the last 250 years, what we've been capable so far, listen, folks, what we've been capable of. No leader could do this on their own. It had to be decided by the people in this country. Do not underestimate how awesome that is. That a collection of people of different colors, of different races, of different religions, of different sexes, of different, economic statuses, of different locations across the country, we came together and agreed on things over the course of time. We killed each other over it, folks. We were willing to pursue this great idea when we knew that it was going to cause bloodshed with our brothers. That is amazing. I don't think that you'll ever achieve the idea that is America, because if you have, then you've quit. It should always be working to get better. That's what I'm hearing at this RNC. When I listened last week, all I heard about was how America is the first to blame. When I listen to the RNC, I hear about how America should be put first to succeed. That is a huge distinction. That is an amazing difference. It should be celebrated, and we should work so very hard to defend it. We should work so very hard to preserve it, because the America that I want to leave for my kids in the future needs to look different than the one today, because the one today looks different than the one of my father and of my grandfather and of his grandfather. That's the point. We're in constant pursuit of it, and it's never been perfect. We've never said it was perfect. And if we ever stop trying to make it perfect, we lose. But it is great, and we need to continue to pursue that. Let's take a quick break. Katie, coming up next,
we are going to have more discussion on this subject, and plus your calls, guys. Give us a ring, 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. We want to hear from you. What did you guys think about the RNC? Was it uplifting? Was it positive? Was it super, super dark like the Democrats want us to believe? Give us a call.
We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Who I really am. I push you away, still you won't let go. You grow your roses on my barren soul.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
To be loved by you.
Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797.
To be loved by you.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. In addition to heating and cooling, Air Comfort Service also offers indoor air quality, water heater and AeroSeal duct sealing services. Get in your comfort zone with aircomfortservice.com.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, the 9 critical decisions when retiring before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. when to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, healthcare, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, the 9 critical decisions when retiring before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
Hey guys, Columbo back with you for my chiropractor, Dr. Ed Ernstrom at Ernstrom Spinal Rehab. I'll be back in about an hour for a little Signs of the Apocalypse today. For me, here's a little segue, a little tie-in. A sign of the apocalypse was the fact that it took me so long to find Dr. Ed and to start going to a chiropractor after suffering from back pain for as long as I did. I don't know why. I didn't think that I needed to go to a chiropractor, but I wasted a lot of years and suffered a lot of pain that I didn't need to, because after meeting Dr. Ed and been going to him now for a few years, I have learned not only how much he can help me with my back pain, but with other injuries throughout my body, and including my headaches, my migraine headaches that I have suffered with for so long. Most of your headaches start in your neck. I didn't know that until I met Dr. Ed, and he has been able to tremendously cut down on the amount of migraine headaches I suffer from. So whether it be the amazing Aspen laser treatments, his, of course, chiropractic care, rock tape products, all of that stuff. If you need to feel better, if you are in pain, you don't need to be in pain anymore. Call Dr. Ed Ernstrom and check him out on the website, imyourchiro.com.
Hi, this is Craig Jensen, trial attorney at Meyer Jensen. As in many areas of life, experience counts, and our law firm has been proud to represent thousands of people who have sustained unfortunate and serious injuries for well over 30 years. We have handled many different kinds of cases involving all types of injuries, but automobile or semi-truck accidents can be especially devastating. If you've experienced an injury from an auto or truck collision, call us. We can help. 618-463-1000 or visit us online at meyerjensen.com. That's meyerjensen.com.
This is Frank Bomarito. With over 500 new Mazdas at our 3 locations, Bomarito will have your Mazda at your price. Since we are Missouri's #1 Mazda retailer, you can expect top-notch sales and service on the full line of award-winning vehicles from Mazda. Plus, only at Bomarito, you get America's best warranty on Mazda. 10 years, 200,000 miles, and don't forget, we will always pay you more for your trade. That's Bomarito Mazda in West County, South County, or St. Peter.
Talked to a friend the other day who's getting ready to put his house on the market, and he had hired some painters to come over and paint the trim and do some other things, and he was having to get some of his siding replaced. And he looked at me and he goes, "Wait a minute, you had that rhino shield put on a few years ago, didn't you?" And I just smiled at him because I did. And I had it put on 12 years ago, and I don't have to worry about touching up anything because it looks as good today as it did the day they put it on. I couldn't be happier with this product. It's an exterior ceramic coating is what they call it. It looks beautiful like any paint job you might get. It just lasts for 25 years. It's fantastic. Call Darren. Let him come over and give you an estimate on this great product. He's honoring right now his 2019 pricing. So take advantage of that while you can. Get on the schedule, 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
The Dave Glover Show.
Honestly, I can't remember the last time on anyone but Fox I heard them say something actually positive. I can't. It doesn't happen.
Weekdays at 3 on 97.1 FM Talk.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Happy Tuesday. Tuesday's the day before Wednesday, and Wednesday's the day when it's half over because that means Thursday and Friday are next, and then it's the weekend. We're so close, folks. Is Tuesday a good day?
It's pretty much already the weekend then.
Yeah, you're dancing like it is.
Yeah, right, all right.
Let's see if the numbers go up or down on the Facebook Live, the Annie Frey YouTube Live. Keep
You
moving
already
like
determined
that.
What that'll do.
Oh, why are they going up? Why do people do this? I say
There we go. There
it's
we go.
unbelievable.
There we go.
Is Tuesday a good day? Like in general, generally speaking, how do you feel about Tuesdays? Tuesdays to me is like let's get down to business day.
Yeah, Tuesdays are a good day. They're just long. They feel like they're the longest day to me.
I feel like Tuesdays are just like you said, they're before Wednesday, which is halfway through the week.
I can't.
But they're not quite halfway through the week, so you don't feel the Wednesday feel like you would on a Wednesday.
Tuesdays are just so long because we have a meeting after the show too,
And that applies to everybody.
And we always get yelled at.
Yeah. Terrible show today, just like usual.
Steve hates
It's like Spider-Man's boss.
Peter Parker.
We got some phone calls here. Let's take caller Pam. 314-241-9797. Love to know what you thought about the RNC last night. Give us a call. Pam, thanks for giving us a ring. What do you think?
Hey guys, coming to you from Highway 70 in Columbia after a great big Mizzou tour for a kiddo.
Ooh, fun.
So,
Go Tigers.
Yeah. So listen, I listened to, sadly I only got to listen to the last two speakers last night because I had other calls I had to be on, but but I did listen to Nora Odell and her panelists afterwards, and I thought, wow, that is not the same tone and demeanor that she and her panelists had with the DNC.
Ooh, they changed? Are you saying that they changed based on the politics that was in front of them?
Can you believe that? I'm telling you. Yeah, it was almost, well, it was laughable. It was really laughable. But I really did enjoy Senator Scott's speech.
Yeah.
I mean, I applauded. I was watching from home, obviously, and I applauded. I thought it was phenomenal.
Were you by yourself in your room when you were watching it? Did you applaud in a room by yourself?
No.
Annie did.
I did.
Well,
I was crying in my hamburger helper.
I live with teenagers, so I'm pretty much by myself anyway. You know.
All right, Pam. Thank you for
clapping, Mom.
Pam, thanks.
And I love the mix. I love the mix, Katie. You're doing good.
Fantastic. There you go, Katie. She's the DJ today. I just really want to know from the non-nerds out there. Like if you're not a political person, if you don't like Trump, but you know that Joe Biden doesn't seem like he's all there, do you peek in and say, okay, what are they going to do tonight? I want to know what those people think. And I don't know how many, I mean, there might be 7 of those people in the country. Do we have any of them in our audience? 314-241-9797. I mean, or if you're somebody who, maybe as a Democrat. Okay, here's something. I get messages on the Annie Frey Show Facebook page quite a bit. And I got a message this weekend from someone who said that he is a member of the UAW, the workers union. And he said that they all used to be Democrats and at least half of them now have seen the light and they're not voting Democratic anymore and they're Trump people. That's a huge statement. If, you know, in his circle of people, if you've got union workers who are looking at the socialism that is being presented by the Democratic left and the unions are departing, you know, maybe the company line for the union isn't going to change. Like some of the police officers unions have endorsed President Trump. If half the people in that this guy knows I think he had said he'd been working for decades as a union worker, if half of those people are changing, doesn't that have to be hugely impactful to the election? Like, doesn't that have to measure up to something? Don't nod your head yes.
Well,
Ryan, speak.
I think that's a huge story, but I don't think those people are tuning in for the RNC. I just don't. I don't think they care enough. And even if they dip their toe in the water, I was watching last night, and like you said, this is a pep rally for a conservative. And last week was a pep rally for a Democrat. Like, that's the way it is.
I thought it sounded like a funeral, but go ahead. Last week.
Yes. Yeah.
Like
exactly.
a Joe Biden memorial service.
Well, I didn't think that, you played some of the best moments of the RNC last night, but I was watching quite a bit of it. And I found myself kind of tuning out and thinking about other stuff. It was a little bit boring to me.
Where'd you watch it?
Well, on my computer.
But so did you watch it on, like, it wasn't on the Fox News was coming in and out of it. MSNBC was coming in and out of it. Did you watch it straight on your computer or did you watch it
unvarnished, straight through? And I was watching the speeches for what they were. I thought a lot of the biggest speakers like Nikki Haley and Steve Scalise, they were just fine. You know,
Oh my
those
gosh,
are
I
supposed
totally
to be
disagree.
really, man. I thought they were supposed to be like the headline, and the headline ended up being Tim Scott.
Here's
and,
he was the last guy. He was the headliner.
Right,
That was, but here's the thing that I appreciate so much about what the RNC did yesterday. The people who were talking are real people. I don't need Eva Longoria or what's her name? Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yes.
I don't need you talking to me about how we have to fight back for equality and all this stuff, because listen, you are of the upper echelon of people in this country. You don't know what it's like to, even be middle class Annie Frey raising 3 kids in the middle of the country. You can't possibly know. And here's the news flash to those folks. That's okay with me. You don't need to know what it's like to live my existence, but you also need to not tell me how to live my existence. If you are enormously wealthy because you're really good at pretending to be somebody else on the screen, and people in this country and around the world are interested in tuning in your show or tuning on your movie and paying money to do that, God bless freaking America. That's fantastic. I'm not begrudging you any of your success, but please don't patronize me to come on and pretend like you know what it's like to be a middle class, dual income family trying to raise 3 kids in the middle of the country. You don't get it. And that's fine. But don't pretend, don't lie to me like you do. I thought that Steve Scalise's speech was so well put about the way he talked. Let us not forget that there was a man who showed up with a gun and said, "Are these the Republicans?" And then he opened fire on them. And just yesterday or the day before, we have Nancy Pelosi saying the Republicans are an enemy of the state. That's freaking insane. Steve Scalise got shot because of rhetoric like that. And he's the one telling you there. Jim Jordan gave his speech about how he had lost his nephew, I believe it was, and how Donald Trump took 5 minutes out of his day just talking to this family. It was a human story. It wasn't a Donald Trump, the enforcer, the great insulter, the great nicknamer. It was Donald Trump, the human. And Jim Jordan knows that person. And so many other people who I've talked to have known that person. I want more of that from real people. That's why maybe it wasn't the glitz and the glam of the DNC, but it certainly to me wasn't the doom and the gloom. I felt like I was talking to people who know what it's like to be us. But different strokes for different folks. Let's talk to Jim Carafano when we come back. Katie, what's Jim got for us in a few minutes here?
So there's tensions continuing to spike between the U.S. and Iran, and the U.S. is pushing for the UN to do a snapback on their sanctions. We're going to talk to Jim Carafano about that next.
I'm also going to ask him about Kim Jung Un being in a coma. Is that legit? And what's his sister like? We'll find out with Carafano in just a minute.
When I come into the bedroom, 'cause I'm the king of the castle. Turn me on, turn me
If you've listened to 97.1 FM Talk, you've heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial and Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple on the station for many years as the financial expert. Trust and results are the 2 biggest factors in an advisor, and this is why Doug is so successful. So listen to Safe Money Radio 7 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk. He can see you at the office with plenty of distancing, of course. He can do a virtual call. 844-676-SAFE. That's 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through D.H. Hill Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So what do you provide? Cookie cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Del Walmsley here. The first thing you're going to have to learn is until you stop expecting the politicians or anyone else to change your life isn't going to change. The only person who can change your life is you, but you need to know how. Listen to my show, the Del Walmsley Radio Show, where the hype ends and the help begins.
You could be on your way to a better lifestyle and experience the life of your dreams. Tune in to the Del Walmsley Radio Show, where the hype ends and the help begins. Weeknights at 7, right here on 97.1 FM Talk.
If you have IRS issues, explore all your options. But before you send money to some out-of-town company, make a smart decision and call the Lance Drury Law Firm for a free confidential appointment. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. Think about it. What will you do if you send thousands of dollars to an out-of-town company that doesn't resolve your issues, then stops returning your calls? You'd probably call a lawyer. Look, IRS issues are serious legal matters, and the Lance Drury Law Firm can often save you thousands if you call us. We're right here in St. Louis, and since we're a local law firm with an A-plus rating with the BBB, I've already helped hundreds of Missouri residents resolve payroll tax issues, wage levies, bank levies, and tax liens. So call me, a tax resolution attorney, Lance Drury at 314-238-7360, or go to Lance, DRURY law.com. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. You need an attorney. You need the Lance Drury Law Firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
KFTK FM Florissant, K254CR St. Louis, driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk, a radio.com station.
Get out while you can. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. A familiar warning along the Gulf Coast, which is now on alert for a possible Category 3 hurricane.
Storm and surge watches are up. Evacuations are called along the coasts of Louisiana and Texas, which by tomorrow night could be feeling Laura, which is now forecast to be a major hurricane by that time, even as far east as New Orleans.
Fox's Evan Brown, mandatory evacuations for over 500,000 people in Beaumont, Galveston, and Port Arthur, Texas, and part of southwestern Louisiana. And there's a voluntary order for coastal areas near Houston. New York becoming the latest state to sue over recent postal changes, accusing President Trump of trying to dismantle the post office and undermine mail-in voting, which the Postmaster General has denied. The president accuses Democrats of setting up a mail-in voting disaster by sending out millions of unsolicited ballots. He made more than one appearance on the first night of the Republican National Convention, expected to play a significant role again tonight. Fox's Griff Jenkins is at the Mellon Auditorium in D.C., where some speeches have been happening, other segments recorded.
We're going to hear from two state attorneys general, along with an angel mom, Miriam Mendoza, whose son was killed by an illegal immigrant. And all this coming as we continue to see the chaos and civil unrest in cities across the country, a favorite topic of President Trump.
The president urging Oregon again today to call out the National Guard as violence continues to erupt nightly after peaceful protests in Portland. Fox News Radio's Democracy 2020 coverage of the Republican National Convention live tonight starting at 8 Eastern. Download the Fox News app and click listen to listen live. The head of Evangelical Liberty University is resigning. Jerry Falwell had taken a leave of absence because of ongoing controversies, including a social media photo and his wife's involvement with a business partner. America is listening to Fox News.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So what do you provide? Cookie cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
On this Tuesday afternoon, it's hot, it's humid, partly to mostly sunny skies, just a tiny little chance of a spot thunderstorm. 95 for the high. Tonight, clear skies, only a slow pullback in temperature this evening. 75 for the overnight low. Wednesday, hot and humid, partly to mostly sunny skies. It does look like increasing chances of rain and thunderstorms Thursday. That's tropical moisture from the Gulf. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
It's open enrollment season, and MediShare is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that saves most families about $500 a month. Google MediShare and see if it's a right fit for you. And check out the podcast from the Associated Press, Ground Game, hosted by AP's digital editor, Megan Crane.
Enhance your home's curb appeal, security, and efficiency with a new garage door from Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Use their digital app to see what new doors look like on your home before installation day. Installed by their own factory-trained technicians, never subcontractors. Always look for the red ribbon. It's your assurance you've got the genuine, the original Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Call 314-781-5200. Overhead Door, trusted in St. Louis since 1926. Schedule your free in-home estimate at overheaddoorslouis.com or call 314-781-5200.
Take a moment and rate your lifestyle on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 is a life that's nothing like the life you were promised after getting good grades, a college degree, and a good job in corporate America. 10 is the life of your dreams. If you answered anything less than a 10, tune into the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Del, self-made millionaire and founder of Lifestyles Unlimited, will show you how to live the life of your dreams and pay for it with passive income.
Tune in to the Del Walmsley Show, where the hype ends and the help begins. Weeknights at 7 on 97.1 FM Talk.
Now, Stewart's American Mortgage is home of the bagel loan. He recently created the Bank Buster loan, which is a little bit of a different setup. But the number one thing that you need to understand, no matter what kind of loan you get with Stewie, is that you're going to work with Stewie. And he is the heart and soul of Stewart's American Mortgage, has been for 30 years of doing this. And right now, when you hear a lot of people going, rates are low, come refi, do your refi now, get your mortgage purchase now. I want to encourage you to consider reaching out to Stewie and making sure that you check with him before you go with anybody else. His number is 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. And the reason why is that when you use the bagel loan with Stewie, you're not going to pay for other fees that lenders will charge you for. He has set up his entire business model around making this available to you. It's completely legit. I've done it myself. There's no fees that are just moved around on the spreadsheet so that you don't see them. You don't pay these fees. You can trust me on that. 314-324-4440. Reach out to Stewie and mention my name and get taken care of right away. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
Ready for a positive 2020 surprise? Here's one from Diamonds Direct. The return of our best offer ever. 5 years, 0 interest financing. Yes! Starting Monday the 31st, backed by popular demand. Pick any item. Get the amazing value price Diamonds Direct is known for. Pay nothing down and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest. And you can even finance the sales tax. Fine jewelry has never been more affordable. 5 years, 0 interest on anything and everything starting September 1st at Diamonds Direct. Get details, directions, and store hours at diamondsdirect.com.
For news, entertainment, and information with perspective, national and local. Keep it here or download the app and stream anytime. 97.1 FM Talk at radio.com. The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening
I'll
to
head
the
up.
radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
I'll head up to New York tomorrow afternoon. I'll meet with the UN Security Council President, and then the Secretary General will provide notification of the snapback, and then 30 days from now, all the sanctions that were in place will resume. They've been temporarily paused because of the ridiculous nuclear deal, and the world will be a safer place. The Iranians won't have the chance to have Russian air defense systems, Chinese tanks, all the things that pose risk and instability in the Middle East. The Gulf states are all excited about it. Israel is excited about it. It'll reduce their risk, and it'll make Americans safer too.
So welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We appreciate you choosing us this afternoon. Always grateful to have you along, streaming on radio.com. If you're looking for a way to take us with you anywhere you go, download that radio.com app, favorite 97.1 FM Talk, and take us with you on the run. You can also watch the show on our Facebook page, on the Annie Frey YouTube page, and on Periscope at Annie Frey Show. So we've been talking a lot about the convention today. We've talked about some of the other issues that are facing the country, but we always like to touch base with Jim Carafano here on Tuesdays to talk about what's going on in the world. And he joins us now, just like every other Tuesday, leading expert in national security and foreign policy at Heritage Foundation. Jim, great to have you back.
There's a lot going on.
There is. And the reason why I appreciate being able to talk to you each week is because there's a huge impact in the stories, the foreign policy stories that you're watching and following. And sometimes they're too high level, I guess, for the attention span of the national media. Iran has been a problem that has been addressed in very different ways by different administrations over the course of the last couple decades. I want to ask you about these missiles, these two missiles that Iran has unveiled. And just what are the implications of the United States-Iran leadership relationship right now, in your thoughts and opinions?
Well, look, I think this with regimes like Iran and North Korea, this president has really adopted the right strategies. These are limited regimes. They have limited capabilities, but they threaten your interests. They're very inimical. And so what the president essentially the same thing in both cases, is it's called like a belt and suspenders. You don't want to walk out on stage and your pants fall down. So you wear a belt and suspenders. So the maximum pressure campaign really limits their ability to do harm and to expand their capabilities and expand as a threat. Then the president puts a diplomatic track there and he says, look, if you guys want to get off and, cut a deal, that's fine. But he's kind of protected our interests first, and he's done it in a sustainable way. It's not like we put an aircraft carrier and 10 divisions there to watch these guys. I mean, we're using a mix of tools, which, we can kind of do this forever, guys, if you want to play this game. And so it's a very kind of practical strategy. And to be honest with you, the question is, why didn't we ever do this before? Obama was in a great place. We had a sanctions regime in place. Iran was really hurting. And they came to the table. And what did Obama do? He gave them the best deal ever, and essentially the get out of jail free card. That was just... It was just the biggest geopolitical mistake, in modern times. I think what we're doing now is it protects our interests. It's sustainable. It's like, really, come on, guys. What else are you going to do?
Jim, if Iran is really backed into a corner like we keep saying and thinking that they are, and they look to be, why would the United Nations Security Council right now vote to not extend the arms embargo? That seems like it's counterintuitive.
Yeah. So obviously China and Russia both have very close relations with Iran. They've never been serious about combating proliferation in the world. So that's not surprising. So then you look at the Germany, France, and UK, and you say, look, wouldn't the smart play for them to decide with the United States? Look, the answer is yes. Like many Americans, and not just in Europe, many Americans believe this, it's kind of like this head in the sand, that somehow they think that, well, this is constraining Iran's nuclear program. The reality is it really never did. There isn't a benefit there, but it's kind of like they're stuck, and they just don't have a better idea. I guess the UK is the most surprising one. You think, hey, this is a much more friendly to the United States. Why wouldn't they sign with the US? And honestly, I think eventually they kind of will. I mean, I think the UK foreign policy establishment is, they've got their deep state too. But I think eventually the conservatives in the party and the party leadership are actually going to probably side with the U.S.
We'll continue to follow that story. It's constantly developing, and the politics here certainly play a big part in the direction this country relates to Iran. I want to ask you, I know you're policy, not politics, so I'll ask this question carefully. But Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is going to be weighing in at the convention this week from Jerusalem. From what I understand, this is an unprecedented occurrence. I'm curious of the global impact of a political event with the Secretary of State taking place on foreign soil. Is that something that is unprecedented because of the possible repercussions it could have, or what's your thoughts on that?
I don't know. We live in a globalized world now, and I'm not sure the old rules really matter much. I mean, the fact that he's, in a foreign country giving this speech, I don't know. I don't think it's the ground shaking end of the world that people think it is. I mean, what's important is people in the exercise of the art of the responsibilities of governance that you do not do partisan political activity things. So as long as you're following those rules, I'm not sure I have I'm going to lose any sleep over this.
Jim Carafano is leading expert in national security and foreign policy at Heritage on the phone with us now. Jim, this deal with the U.S. and Israel and the United Arab Emirates, it's historic. I don't see a whole lot of criticism of it. First deal to be made in 26 years, it looks like, between Israel and an Arab country. But I do see people starting to say, well, Israel might have given up too much in this, saying they wouldn't annex the West Bank, that they would give up sovereignty of Judea and Samaria and agree to establish a Palestinian state. I mean, is all that true, that they are giving up some things in this deal?
Well, they did agree to suspend annexation of a small part of the West Bank. I got to be honest with you, I don't think that was in the cards anyway. I mean, the U.S. wasn't really crazy about it. It really didn't do that much for the Israelis. I think it was more just a card that they played rather than an actual concession, because I'm not really sure they were really to pull the trigger on that anyway.
We're speaking with Jim Carafano, our foreign policy expert with Heritage Foundation, and a Tuesday guest here on the Andy Frey Show. Definitely intrigue surrounding Kim Jung Un and what is going on in North Korea. According to Fox News yesterday, Kim Jung Un is in a coma. His sister is set to take control. This is allegedly from a South Korean ex-diplomat. Do you put any stock in this? It seems as though we never actually know what's going on in North Korea. What's your thoughts on this?
I mean, who knows? I mean, the country could be run by aliens for all we don't know. Look, you never make policy with North Korea. You never make policy with North Korea assuming you know what's going on in North Korea, right? You have to wait until they actually do something, because this is rumors, conspiracy. This is part and parcel of what goes on inside that regime and what we hear from the outside world. So you just can't act on any of this stuff. So you have to do your policy, presuming that you don't really know what's going on in the inner sanctum in Pyongyang, because you probably don't.
Does North Korea pose a threat? Because we talk about them, and the intrigue, I think, surrounds the country just because of so much that we don't know, and the dictatorship that is there is so foreign to the way the rest of the majority of the world functions. So there is intrigue. But do we look at them as being a world leader of power in the United States? Do we look at North Korea as a threat?
It is a threat, but much in the way that Russia is a threat. These are declining powers with limited cards to play. But a kid with a match in the garage can burn your garage down. So North Korea they don't have the capacity to win wars; they have the capacity to start them. So we don't want a war in Northeast Asia. That would be bad for everybody. And we don't want North Korea to directly threaten us. And they do have missiles with range and the capability to do that. So those are concerns that need to be addressed. I think the pressure campaign, nuclear deterrence, missile defense, or conventional deterrence, that's a threat we can deal with. And I think we put Kim, like in many ways, I think we put the Iranians in a box. And we have to keep them there unless the regime decides they want to negotiate their way out. So I feel as good about where we are with North Korea as I felt really in 2 decades. We understand these guys. We don't trust them. We're ready to deal with them. But on the other hand, if they want to pursue a different path, I think the U.S. is ready to do that as well.
Jim, when we talk about these rogue states like North Korea and like Iran, it seems like they're always the ones making news. Why do China and Russia always seem to side with them? Is it just because of us? Are they just trying to get under our skin, or is there something else going on?
Well, of course, North Korea is adjacent to China, so they really care. They don't want to see expanding Western influence, and so they wouldn't want North Korea, for example, to essentially become an ally with like Japan or the United States or South Korea. So they have interests as well with these regimes. That's fair. Also, you're right. They're the only people that will do business with them. That counts for something. And the third thing is, hey, they can do your dirty work. I mean, you can use them to annoy the West. You can have them do illegal stuff that you don't want to do. So there's good reasons why you party with the people that like to party with you. So.
Jim Carafano, we always appreciate talking to you, and we will continue to watch this situation in Iran continue to develop, and we will always go to you when we need the expert analysis, because we're grateful for you. And I want to encourage people to follow you on Twitter at JJ Carafano. You have one of my favorite Twitter accounts on the internet. You have a good gift game.
Well, thanks for having me on the show. You guys have a great show, and I really appreciate you having me on.
All right. We'll talk to you again soon. Jim Carafano, leading expert in national security and foreign policy at Heritage Foundation, on Twitter at JJ Carafano. All right. We're going to take a quick break. Katie, did you get a chance to look over that article I sent you about Yachty?
Oh, yeah, I did. And I was wondering why that was one of these posts were deleted so quickly off of Instagram. But then I read a little bit farther into it.
Mm-hmm. And there's some COVID Yadier Molina Instagram news.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk to you about this story about what happened, because I think, okay, Yachty he put something up and he had to delete it. He kind of got shamed. And I'm going to tell you how I think, I'm going to grade him on how he handled this, because there's a lot of people being shamed into taking things down. It's cancel culture. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about Yachty's situation when we come back. Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show.
Here's a village, the peaceful village, the lion sleeps tonight.
Tony LaRussa here. Men, are you running out of stamina rounding third base? If so, call my friends at Victory Men's Health in O'Fallon, Illinois. Scoring at home is important, just as important as crossing the plate with the winning run. VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
As your employees are transitioning back to work, you want to provide a safe environment for them to work in. Jan Pro Commercial Cleaning has been servicing buildings and facilities throughout the metro for over 20 years. Jan Pro offers a range of disinfecting services that can eliminate 99.9% of germs that spread common illness and contagions. Has no adverse effects to the environment, staff, or visitors. For a no-obligation quote, contact Jan Pro Commercial Cleaning at jan-pro.com. That's jan-pro.com. Commercial cleaning for your office or facility. It's Jan Pro Commercial Cleaning at jan-pro.com.
Hi, this is Andrea from Best Buy Flooring. Are your floors old and worn out? We have all your flooring needs. Carpet, tile, vinyl, hardwood, and ceramic. Installed or cash and carry. Have it your way. Let our flooring specialist show you our 20,000 square foot showroom with 2 locations to serve you. Hazelwood, Missouri or O'Fallon, Illinois. And contractors, come on in. Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy Flooring.
It's the 20th anniversary of 97.1, and we're celebrating 20 years of great Dave Glover Show moments with Michael's Flooring Outlet.
So this is a statue, and the title of the post is in all caps, My Lady. She looks like a stone, but she is really fiberglass and not so heavy. Previously decorated a hot tub room. I absolutely hate to lose her, but I have moved and I don't have a place for her. Here is a picture for the boys in the room. This is My Lady. She is quite gorgeous. She is a nude statue that previously adorned a hot tub room, which is something I've never heard of before.
I know all about this guy. I need to know. You're going to have to call Janet King to get this thing disinfected.
Wow. DGS 20. Listen. Mike of Michael's Flooring Outlet. Proud to be Dave's first live endorsement and being part of so many sweet memories for the past 20 years. Thank you again, St. Louis and the Dave Glover Show. 97.1. Rock on. Check me out. IGotFloored.com.
Hey there, it's Billy with Inside Out Tax. I used to work for the IRS and I help people every day get to the bottom of their tax problems. What most folks don't know is the IRS can show up at your door. These are field collection employees called revenue officers. If you've recently been visited by someone at the IRS, then give me a call to set up a free 30-minute consultation at 636-495-5700, or reach out to us through our website at insideouttax.com.
Are you concerned you won't have enough income in retirement to live comfortably? Or do you wonder how long your money will last? Do you also wonder how all the market volatility will affect your retirement plans? This is Thomas Helbig of the Retirement Advisory Group, and we'd like to show you how to protect your retirement savings from market losses and generate more income than most investment options. Call me now at 314-993-9494 for a no-cost, no-obligation retirement review. We'll build your own personalized, structured income plan that will show you exactly the type of retirement you could count on. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of my second edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. This book covers everything I teach in my live educational events. I've been helping retirees and pre-retirees to and through retirement for 33 years. Call me now at 314-993-9494 or online at retirementkey.com. Once again, that's 314-993-9494 or online at retirementkey.com.
There are baseball fans. Then there are St. Louis serious baseball fans. You know, the kind who have a shrine of Fredbird in their basement. At On the Run, we pride ourselves on being St. Louis serious. It's why when the Cards score 6, our drinks are only 50 cents the next day at participating locations. So take your Cardinals fandom to the next level and take advantage of this refreshing deal at your local On the Run, where we are St. Louis serious.
The original and still.
The original and still the best.
The original app for your morning and afternoon commute.
Where don't you want to go in traffic?
Dependable traffic.
We have a major car fire.
Driven by Ambassador Floor Company. With 100% employee installation. Experience more at Ambassador Floor.
Peace up, A-Town. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Hush, hush, hush. Let's go.
Why is this song funny to me? I don't think it's supposed to be funny. Maybe it's because I remember this time of my life. Sort of.
No, it's just anytime somebody's in the back of a song going, okay.
Hey, now that's Lil Jon.
We should have somebody do that at the convention.
Yes.
The convention needs a hype man.
Yes.
Who's it gonna be?
Oh my gosh. That sounds like something the Democrats would totally do.
Yes, it does.
Do we talk about Kimberly Guilfoyle or not?
I want to, but
I
I will
can't.
defer to you.
She could be a hype man.
Could you?
Didn't she start yelling at some point?
Yeah, it didn't get me hyped though, I'll tell you.
No.
No.
I think I missed that part. I saw it this morning on the reruns.
Come on, let her rip.
I can't. I don't want to be mean. I've struggled with this. Last night was the hardest I laughed in a really long time. Like when I talked about like clapping and you know being moved to tears listening to Maximo Alvarez talking about how there's nowhere else to go. It was so emotional.
And then
obviously it still is. Still experiencing that moment.
I just couldn't.
Ladies and gentlemen, leaders and fighters of the American dream, the best is yet to come.
This is a viral.
There's like a Guilfoyle challenge right
now. What?
She was trending number 2 on Twitter last night. She was the second trend happening last night.
She earned it. Jared said, Andy, what's wrong? It's like, I just can't. It was like she gave the I have a dream speech to nobody.
It was too much.
That's my criticism of the whole night. It felt like they were doing these grand things, but it was like an empty museum.
I could not disagree with you possibly anymore, except for Kimberly Guilfoyle.
Okay.
It was like,
let's find common ground.
I mean, this is
please.
Ladies and gentlemen, leaders and fighters of the American dream, the best is yet to come.
I was in shock the whole time. I don't know if it was 5 minutes, but it felt like an eternity of just being screamed at.
Has never been funnier than it was last night. And
I agree.
I don't know anything that she said. I want to read her speech. I want to hear what she had. There was the whole thing. You're sitting there, you're like, whoa.
And you think
that was the first 10 seconds.
Yes, you think it's going to end. You think it's going to end, and it doesn't.
And she kept saying, America,
America,
America. And I'm like,
and she kept doing this.
Yes.
Most of us just
America.
say America.
I've got to say she was the most unrelatable person of the night.
Ladies and gentlemen, leaders and fighters of the American dream, the best is yet to come.
Oh, I'm so sad.
I
don't want to play her because I don't want to. I felt bad. I was just like, oh man, get off the stage, get off the stage, get. Oh, no, there's more. America.
The meme that I was cracking me up this morning is you said, like, she's holding her hands out like this the whole time. And somebody captured a screenshot of that and said, "Don't cry for me, Quarantina."
Perfect.
I'm looking through.
It's so perfect.
Now I want to hear the whole speech just raw.
Ryan, I cannot believe you missed that.
I missed that one.
It was like not right at the beginning, but close to the beginning.
Oh man, it was just so intense. But there was no like slow build. My makeup's all messed up now because I'm laughing so hard I'm crying again. There was no slow build to the intensity of it. It was turned up to 11 from the very beginning. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
She turned into Little John.
Was it more or less? Oh, yeah, see, hype man. Okay,
America.
Was it more or less awkward than Jill Biden walking through that school hallway for about 5 or 6 seconds, turning, hitting a mark, going into the next room, and then saying, "Hello."
Of the American dream, the best is yet to come.
That answers that question.
That's just a dude out in the street. And he's like in his can you just call it a wife beater anymore? Mm-hmm. His white sleeveless tank top. This is a PC way to say that. And it's just like he's like down in like a defensive stance with his arms out, screaming into the night. And there's like 2 guys standing next to their cars drinking something, and they're just looking at him like, "What are you doing, bro?"
He's in front of a restaurant. Everyone's just like, "What?" There you go, folks.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I haven't seen a nutshell.
I was scrolling. Like, this is what you do when you're watching this and you hear it and you have that initial thought like, wow, this is kind of a little too intense. Then you decide, I'm going to peek at Twitter and see if anybody else thinks that. And then you turn it on and then everybody is like intensely laying in on it. And I couldn't even watch Don Jr. without thinking about the conversation that took place between Kimberly Guilfoyle and they're together. So Don Jr. like in between. And then when I watched him, I thought, was he like, I got to match her or I got to not do that? And not to mention the fact that Kimberly Guilfoyle's speech laid into the state of California from the very beginning. Kimberly Guilfoyle's ex-husband is Gavin Newsom. So
Whoa.
That is super personal.
Wow.
Yeah, that blew your mind.
I did not know that.
Craig on Facebook chat says, wish I could see Chris Farley.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh. Perfect energy. Yes, Craig.
Do you think that she planned to do that just because she knew it would get attention? You know, because Trump does that.
No.
He says things on purpose just to
No.
get attention. No?
No.
Like she just went over
You
the
need to
line.
watch it, Ryan.
I gotta watch it.
Yeah, you can't. You have to watch it. You should film a reaction video. We can put it up on the YouTube channel.
Okay.
Oh man, I want to shift gears because I want to talk about this Yadier post. Yadier Molina is the catcher for the St. Louis Cardinals, and he is one of the people who tested positive for COVID. I'm just gonna keep thinking about this. And he put up a picture with him surrounded by other people that nobody, like, it was like a group photo. You remember group photos? Remember when you used to get in groups and take pictures with each other? And people weren't wearing masks, and the post said F COVID. Now, as you know, Yadier Molina did have coronavirus. He did get over it. And other people did as well. This is from Sporting News is where I saw this. He took the post down. Later, he edited the caption to remove the F COVID line, and then he ended up taking the picture down in its entirety. And then he reposted the photo, and this is what he said. And I adore this. He said, I wanted to make a few things clear with the picture I sent. I know COVID is a serious virus. Trust me, I had it for a week myself. Many of the people in the picture are the same way, and we got together to celebrate beating COVID. The other people in the picture are tested routinely because they work directly at my house or are part of my family. I understand how this looks from the outside, and even though I do this most of the time, I will make sure to be more careful to wear masks and socially distance in the future. And my message under the picture was to show the world that we can beat this thing. I know this won't make everyone understand, but I hope it clears up some concerns people have. Quote, F COVID, not because I don't care about the protocols, but because this won't beat us. Thank you, Yadi, for putting a picture up, getting the backlash, readjusting, and then putting the picture back up with this clarification that did not back down from the mob. Because when people saw a picture of Yadier Molina surrounded by people, they freaked out. But hello, folks, it's still Yadi's life, and you still don't know everything about all the stuff that's going on in and around Yadi. And we live in a world now where on social media, he obviously put this up on Instagram, where you can come in and you can comment. You can say whatever you want. You can comment whatever you want. You don't even have to have people know who you are when you're commenting on it. But what he's saying here, when he said the F COVID thing, he's saying it specifically because he beat it. It is a positive story. And the people who are in that photo, like, listen, I'm around my family. I'm around my parents. We've been around my in-laws. We have stayed a very small nuclear group of people, but there are people who we associate with a regular basis. We know where each other has been, and we've decided that it's okay for us to be around one another. And if you don't like that, too darn bad. You don't get to, shame people. You can, but what I'm saying is in Yadi's case, he stood up and he said, no, this is a good story. I shared this story because there's a positive end to this because we came out ahead. And there are more people in this photo who had the same experience as him and came out ahead. Like, this is, in my opinion, the way you do it. You can clarify. He took the time to clarify because he didn't have to do that either. It just makes me happy to see that he was willing to put this up and he was willing to not back down from it. I don't know what you guys think.
I just hate the point that it got to this. Like, it's a picture of you and your friends, and apparently that's not okay. And there's hundreds of comments when he posts a picture with his friends that are saying, well, he's not wearing a mask. He must be part of the lunatic right. And so I need to virtue signal here and let him know and everybody else know how righteous I am by telling him how wrong he is for posting a picture with his friends.
It's all about being righteous, and you cannot post anything ever anymore on the internet without understanding that there is going to be somebody in the world finding what you posted wrong.
Yeah.
And I mean, most of us knew that Yadi had coronavirus. The majority of everybody knew he had coronavirus. So whenever he posted that, it made sense. I'm happy that he reposted. I'm happy he didn't give in, that he said what he needed to say and was like, let's move on from this. We can move on.
Yeah, totally. Keep on keeping on, Yadi. We appreciate it. And we're glad you're back and you're hitting. So thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That's super good. Just one more what do we got coming up, Tony?
We got Tony with Signs of the Apocalypse. Somebody's probably doing something stupid in this world.
You think?
Yeah.
Somewhere, somehow, somebody's doing something stupid. All right. Well, we'll talk with Tony Colombo, Signs of the Apocalypse, when we come back. I'm enjoying some of the comments from people who watched. Kim, man, I couldn't.
That was probably a sign of the apocalypse.
I really couldn't believe my eyes and my ears. And hopefully that's behind us. All right. We're going to be back with Tony Colombo.
Ladies and gentlemen, leaders and fighters of the American dream, the best is yet to come.
That's what we're playing next time. Every time Tony Colombo is coming in the studio. The best is yet to come, folks. We'll be right back.
Conversation got heavy. She had me feeling like she's ready to blow.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show.
She say you come get me.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Furnace tune-ups are recommended each year to keep your heating system running efficiently, prevent repairs, and extend its life. Schedule your furnace tune-up and get into your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Our homes are where we feel the most happy, safe, and secure. So when we see cracks in the drywall, uneven floors, or other signs of foundation settlement, we want to make sure that it's repaired right and fixed forever. At Woods Basement Systems, we understand. We're a family business that's been eliminating foundation worry since 1986. And once we repair your home, we stand behind it with a transferable life of the home warranty. So the next family who lives there will also enjoy the same peace of mind. So if you have foundation problems, learn more at woodsbasementsystems.com. That's woodsbasementsystems.com. Or call 800-388-9326 for a free estimate. That's 800-388-9326. Woods Basement Systems, because foundation problems don't get better with time, they get better with us. All things basementing experts.
We are Woods, we fix basements for your peace of mind.
That's woodsbasementsystems.com.
In uncertain times, your generosity makes a difference. Today, thanks to community donations, we're here to meet human needs without discrimination. The Salvation Army is helping those in need affected by COVID-19. For those whose wages have been lost, those who are in need of food or have no place to call home, and for so many others who desperately need help and hope in this time. Your donation today ensures no one is turned away or overlooked. To see how you can make a difference, visit salarmymidland.org and give today.
Hey guys, Glover here from my friends at ARCA, Assisted Recovery Centers of America. So alcohol and opioid addiction is a huge problem in America, as you know. And with the coronavirus, it's become even worse. Just know that there is help right here in our community. Call ARCA at 314-645-6840 or visit arcamidwest.com. Everything is professional, everything is compassionate, and everything is private. That's arcamidwest.com for help.
Hi, Sean Long for STL Fenceworks. STL Fenceworks has been the go-to for fences, decks, and sunrooms for nearly 50 years. The explanation is simple. Our unwavering dedication to our core principles of quality, service, and affordability. STL Fenceworks says quality. It's in our people and products, like Wolf Decking, Ameristar Ornamental Fence, and MVP Vinyl Fence. American-made, committed to excellence. STL Fenceworks embodies service from first contact through project completion. It's an enhanced customer experience due to our professional staff. And STL Fenceworks delivers affordability through volume purchasing, low overhead, and 50 years working knowledge. We deliver more than our competition for less. STL Fenceworks is the confluence of these principles, and that's value added to you. Now more than ever, we intend to exceed your expectations and deliver your backyard vision through our timeless, quality-first approach at an affordable cost with the utmost in service, craftsmanship, and professionalism. If you need a fence, deck, or sunroom, the solution is STL Fenceworks. At STL Fenceworks, your satisfaction is our passion.
Hi, this is Jim Miller, and Origins is back.
I said to Cameron, I'm like, this doesn't come around very often, and I want to be in this movie.
Chapter 6, Almost Famous turns 20.
I am a golden god!
You made friends with them.
Well, it was fun.
Because they make you feel cool.
To celebrate Almost Famous 20th anniversary, we've managed to put the band back together again, including the director and writer of the film, Cameron Crowe himself. Plus, Kate Hudson, Frances McDormand, Billy Crudup, Jason Lee, Patrick Fugit, Zooey Deschanel, Jimmy Fallon, rock stars Peter Frampton and Nancy Wilson, and more.
It's what it's like to be a fan, to love some band so much that it hurts.
Join me as it all unfolds with Origins Chapter 6, Almost Famous turns 20. Subscribe now on radio.com, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your shows.
The Marc Cox Morning Show.
Thank you to everybody who donated to make Mark bald. We raised $12,095 for Backstoppers.
Marc Cox, weekday mornings 5 to 9 on 97.1 FM Talk.
Caught my heart about 1-2 times. Don't need to question the reason I'm yours. I'm yours. I'd move the earth to lose a fight just to see a smile. 'Cause you got no flaws. no flaws. I'm not trying to be your part-time lover. Sign me up for them full-time. I'm yours, all yours. So what a man gotta do? What a man gotta do to be totally locked up by you?
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Hope you're having a great Tuesday afternoon. The Republican convention continues tonight. Here is the list of folks speaking this evening: Tiffany Trump and Eric Trump, Nick Sandmann, the kid in the red hat who smiled, and from what I understand, got a very nice settlement from several entities. John Peterson, Chris Peterson, Megan Pauley, Marianne Mendoza, Myron Lizzo.
Bring out the big names, huh?
Couldn't get a hype man, but we've got Lizzo. Lizzo will not be there tonight. Unless she is. You heard it here first. Jason Joyce, Abby Johnson, former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi, Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron. He's the first Black Attorney General in Kentucky's state history, and you wouldn't even know it. And why is that? Because he's a Republican. Florida Lieutenant Governor Jeanette Nunez, Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds, Senator Rand Paul from Kentucky, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, who's going to be there from Jerusalem, which is a bit of a that's new. That's never been done before. And First Lady Melania Trump, and hopefully she gives a speech that is different this year than Michelle Obama's, because the last time she spoke, it turned out, oh yeah, we did lift some of that from the former First Lady. That was embarrassing. So we'll hear what Melania has to say. She's going to give her speech from the Rose Garden. We got Tony Colombo in studio. Hi, Tony.
Hello, everyone. How are you?
Good. What'd you think about Kimberly Guilfoyle last night?
Woo!
Have you heard of the Kimberly Guilfoyle challenge that's out there now?
Ladies and gentlemen, leaders and fighters of the American dream, the best is yet to come.
Dude.
Perfect. It was a little much. It was a little much. I love my country.
I didn't watch very much of the RNC, but I was lucky enough.
You sent last night?
Yeah, go ahead. I was just gonna repeat the joke, but please, the original is better always than a repeat.
Oh, we're gonna get a joke. All right.
If somebody can get me some of whatever Kimberly is on, hook it up. I'll pay big money. I haven't had that much energy in 20 years.
That offer stands to anybody listening. If you can get me whatever Kimberly has, I'll take it, because that was something else. Yeah, yesterday I really just wanted to see the McCloskeys. Like, I was just interested in seeing what they had to say. So, and since you can't know exactly when somebody's going to be on, and I also wanted to see Herschel Walker.
Oh gosh, he was so good.
He was so good. I've had the opportunity to meet Herschel Walker. He's great.
Cool.
So I caught him, and then the cancer survivor right after him was great. And I'm like, okay, here we go. And then the McCloskey spoke, and then I was going to turn it off. And then Kimberly came on.
You got to watch it.
And I just was dumbfounded.
Be careful.
You could not turn away.
I couldn't.
I wanted to turn it off so bad.
I was like, what is going on right now? She knows there's a microphone right there, right? Also,
and no people.
You're yelling in an empty room.
Exactly.
Do you think she was nervous?
I get that I think that she thought
it was going to be impactful.
I think she thought this was her this is going to be
she was right.
Amazing.
It was her moment.
Which one who's she with? She's with one of the sons,
Don
right?
Jr.
You
Don
think
Jr.
that she walked off the stage and he was like, okay.
No, not if they're still together today.
He's a smart man. He didn't say anything.
Wait, she's married or with Don Jr. and she used to be married to Gavin Newsom?
Yeah.
Wow. What? That's amazing.
A lot of people thought that she was going to be the press secretary before they announced Kayleigh McEnany. Can you imagine that?
Man.
Whoa.
Not anymore.
No kidding.
America! America! It wasn't, nobody says it like that.
Nobody talks like
America.
that.
No.
The only way any speaker gets to that point is if they are if there's 100,000 people in the stadium with them and the people are just going crazy. That's the only time it's ever okay to get that ramped up. It's never okay to do that in an empty room where you're the only person screaming at the wall.
This is from somebody tweeted Steve Scalise being super casual about getting shot on a baseball field was a good palate cleanser after Kim finished yelling threateningly inspirational things at me.
Goodness.
Good night.
I couldn't help it. I was, like I said, I'm sitting in my basement all by myself in my yoga workout clothes, eating a hamburger helper and crying, laughing so hard because Twitter oh my gosh.
She didn't
so
do
funny.
Trump any favors. That was like
What,
you
Tony,
don't walk away from that going,
we talked
I want
about
to be
this
on that team.
off the air a little bit. What would Donald Trump do if the Kimberly Guilfoyle incident took place on the other side?
Oh,
annihilation.
I don't even want to talk about it.
Jokes on jokes.
Speaking of signs of the apocalypse. Sorry.
Signs of the Apocalypse on the Annie Frey Show.
So for the first time ever, I have Annie Frey Show themed, at least this first one, Signs of the Apocalypse. I was listening a little bit earlier on the show.
Lovely.
So I wanted to start Signs of the Apocalypse with what I thought as I was listening was a clear sign of the apocalypse. I'm going to try to see if this works. I'm going to try to hold this up. See if you can read this. If you can, Annie, I want you to read this first sign of the apocalypse. Let me see if this works here. Can you read?
By the way.
Can you read that? No, probably not. Probably too small, isn't it?
It looks like a
Katie
cell phone
provokes
case.
Katie provokes the new Madrid fault line. Annie and Ryan don't know what to do in an earthquake.
That's my first sign of the apocalypse.
We just
Katie
panicked.
provokes the new Madrid fault line. I know that the new Madrid fault line probably wasn't listening, but if it was, and it
it's
hears
always
somebody on the
listening.
radio going, "Oh, earthquake, fault line,"
I'm just saying.
I don't think about that.
Are...
I don't think about that one bit. I'm more worried about tornadoes. You can do everything you want, New Madrid fault line.
No, yeah.
And then you two trying to remember what you learned in school about where to go during an earthquake.
Well, tell us.
Yeah,
Save
what do
us.
we do? What do we do, Tony?
You were right, Ryan. A doorway is a good place to go.
Thank you.
Yeah, the innermost room, where you want to be under structure.
We went underneath our desks.
Yeah.
In an earthquake?
Yeah, you want to be in a doorway is a good place to
Wouldn't
go.
you? Isn't it better to go outside, away from structure?
If you can, you can. Outside is better than in a.
I mean, you shouldn't run inside a building.
You want to have. You want to have
an earthquake.
You want to be somewhere where there is a braced ceiling above you.
But if you're outside and one of those huge crack fault lines forms right between your feet,
that's not a good
That's
place.
just bad luck.
And you're
not a
like,
good place.
oh no, like you're gonna fall in.
Is there anything?
Whoa.
Is
I
there
thought that was
anything
really
more
funny.
terrifying in the world than sinkholes? I think it's the scariest thing
and
that
they're
exists.
happening all like
I don't want to talk about
in
it.
the news a bunch.
I don't know what to do with those either.
Mm-mm.
Just scream really loud.
All right.
You sure you don't want to talk about sinkholes?
Don't want
Okay.
to talk about them. Yeah, no.
We
I
found
had a
out.
whole couple minutes prepared on sinkholes, so
We found out a couple weeks ago that
Stick around
we're
with the DGS.
having a Dr. Pepper shortage
Mm-hmm.
because of the pandemic. Dr. Pepper tweeted out a couple weeks ago. We know it's hard to find Dr. Pepper these days. We're working on it. Hang tight. Now, the other new coronavirus shortage is pepperoni. Pizza shops are reporting higher pepperoni prices as the supply is going down.
No.
Two reasons. First, pork processors have had to deal with a reduced number of workers during the pandemic. Pepperoni is reportedly a complicated meat product to make. So some suppliers...
Pepperoni is a complicated
meat product to make.
Today you learned two things:
Yes.
what to do in an earthquake, and that pepperoni is.
So
a
some
complicated
suppliers have reduced the amount being produced. The other reason is that the demand for pizza has risen so much during the lockdowns and pandemics that there's big pressure on
sounds good.
the pepperoni industry because
Mm.
everybody's home and they're not going out and everybody's ordering pizzas.
I love Dr. Pepper. That's
I
like
love
my
Dr. Pepper.
absolutely
And
favorite soda.
you're
What do you
neat.
do about it?
I agree.
Jackie says on Facebook, stand in a doorway during an earthquake.
Yeah, I know.
Thanks, Jackie.
Yep.
We
That's
know
what I'm
you
gonna do.
know. I didn't know.
That's what we learned over and over again. And we also learned to never taunt the fault line.
That's right. We're saving lives.
Kay's gonna stand over it and point at it.
I'm be taunting.
What's it been? 100 years?
You ain't gonna do nothing.
What are you gonna do about it? Man, that one you guys are talking about too, that one that happened in the middle of the night about 10 years ago. I thought somebody was breaking into my house. And I charged down the steps.
They were. It was the raccoons.
It was not the jumping raccoons. I charged down the steps, and then when I came to my senses, I thought to myself, what were you going to do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you armed?
No.
You just ran down?
It was like 3 a.m. I popped out of bed. I ran down the steps. And then I thought, what would you have done if you would have gotten down here and there would have been a bunch of people breaking?
Everybody out. There's a sleeping man in his pajamas.
Yeah. Would not have been good for me. That would have been the truth. A YouTuber has invented a new gun that shoots masks onto people's faces.
Sounds kind of awesome.
Mm-hmm. And another guy built a Spider-Man web shooter to squirt hand sanitizer. Looks like we have reached the 5-minute hacks version of our 5-minute hacks phase of quarantine.
How far away can you shoot a face mask onto somebody?
So I watched him do it a good 5 or 6 feet at least. But it doesn't look the way it has to like hit your face and then wrap. Doesn't look like it would feel very good.
Right.
He was doing
Good
it on
idea,
mannequins.
but-
I don't think it would work on a human without some pain. Researchers in England say singers performing in front of a live audience should sing softly to reduce the risk of spreading coronavirus. They also say that musicians should play quietly for the same
Ladies and
reason.
gentlemen, leaders and fighters of the American dream, the best is yet to come.
It just seems selfish
I'd
now.
like to see like a screamo or a metal concert with these guidelines.
Dude. Yeah, singers sing quietly. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I can't wait
to
for that
watch that
concert.
show.
Wow.
All right, stay with me. This one's a wild ride. 38-year-old Renee Sanders is a lawyer in Florida, Fort Lauderdale. It's always Florida. And last week, she led police on a drunken high-speed chase. Police tried to pull over her Lexus when they clocked her doing 80 in a 45-mile-an-hour zone. She didn't stop. She ended up getting up to as fast as 90 miles an hour. Woo! She fishtailed, almost crashed. Police finally boxed her in and ordered her out of her car at gunpoint. Once they had her in custody, she tried to talk her way out of it by name-dropping a bunch of celebrities that she supposedly hung out with. She said that she knew
When you're
Owen
thinking
Wilson,
quickly.
Ryan Reynolds, and The Rock. And then when they got her to jail, she demanded that they order her pizza.
Wow. Bold.
They did not do that.
Bold strategy,
She's
Cotton.
facing charges
See if it
for
works
reckless
out.
driving, DUI, and resisting arrest, even though she knows Owen Wilson, Ryan Reynolds.
We arrested
thinking on her feet.
And The
She
Rock.
knows Owen Wilson.
What is it? What good is it to know Owen Wilson if it doesn't get you out of a
can't get you out of a
DUI?
speeding
What's he gonna
ticket,
do?
right?
I know Ryan Reynolds.
Oh man. All right. Make sure you guys connect with the Annie Frey Show Facebook page and the Annie Frey YouTube page. We're going to be doing a debate or a discussion, I should say, a moderated discussion tomorrow between Congressman Mike Bost and Jeannie Ives up north. We're going to have a discussion that I will be moderating there. So make sure you connect with us and stick around because the Dave Glover Show is coming up next with one Tony Colombo. We'll be back tomorrow. DGS up next.
I'm not America's sweetheart, so beat the drum with me.
Dear beloved home, your doors and windows have weathered a lot over the